All right, your hot mics are now hot again. Hello, everybody, and welcome to SOS Pink Season 3, Episode 4. Is it 43 we said? Something like that?
Yes,
43.
right.
Early 40s as we barrel toward a conclusion here.
I don't know. Someone's going to be mad at us for something anyway.
Someone's going to be mad at us for something anyway. Oh, you know what? You're probably getting double music now because I'm dumb. Hang on, that'll be fixed in 1 second. Yep, we're fixed. Cool. All right. Welcome to episode 43. So everyone, Dot's not here, everybody. This has happened multiple times. I've not gotten any better at it. In fact, I might be getting worse. But we are back after a couple weeks, I think, since we've last played.
It's been 3 weeks.
3 weeks since we've played.
May 25th was the last
May
time.
25th, yeah.
And when was...
Tracy and I always like put the date.
Our little notes.
What was the last session you were here as Nelson, Josh?
That would have been.
Hang on. Tracy's like, hang on, I've got this. One
Hold
second.
on. That would have been in
37.
February.
March 23rd.
Or March. Sorry,
No.
March.
Yes. Yeah.
March.
But the beginning of
May.
March.
Yeah, so
Yeah.
It was
months or so.
episode 37. And
37?
Yeah. I mean,
In a
makes
row?
sense, at least,
March
like,
23rd.
Yeah.
in-game,
Oh, that was the day after my birthday. Nice.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's only been a month in-game, but it's been a little longer.
3 million years for Nelson.
For Nelson, it's been a little longer than that, but we'll get to that. Thank you guys for showing up. Thank you guys for being here. We'll get to the show shortly. Just a little bit of our usual shill. If you guys have been enjoying the show, want to support the show, liking or following us here on Twitch, or going over to youtube.com/rollforit, dropping a like on the videos, watching them there. All of our VODs end up over there for free over the course of time. They're almost caught up over there, but if you want to re-binge and stuff, that's a great way to go do it. And if you guys want to go above and beyond, you can subscribe here to Twitch channel, and all of the proceeds from our Twitch subs go directly to SOS, paying cast, artists, all that good stuff. And if you want to go even above and beyond that, you can go to patreon.com/podbynight, where you can get a bunch of different little bonuses, as well as supporting all of our stuff, including our podcasts and all that good stuff. So yeah, that's about it. Before we jump in, why don't we have Ava, Tracy, why don't you give us a recap of what happened last episode?
Yes.
It has been a few weeks and even longer for Nelson, so...
It has.
I'm so happy she's fidgeting. She's so happy about it.
I had a moment because I my last couple of notes are a little wonky, as I believe I wrote the ritual worked, but I think that was 2 episodes ago. That was not the last.
The
Did we do the
was 2 episodes
Last
back.
episode, we had the ritual ending.
It was the end of. Okay,
Was,
so
was
I
that,
don't.
was that
Yes.
last episode? Oh,
Yeah.
okay, damn.
Because
okay.
2 episodes
Yeah.
ago was the Dakota Ollie beatdown sesh.
Yeah, okay, yep.
Right,
all
this
right.
the Dakota Ollie beatdown sesh.
So your notes were not wrong.
Okay. So that worked, and the main thing I just want to bring up of what happened, to refresh everybody's memory of last episode,
This is chaos
was
already.
Emmy. All right. The majority of the episode was the aftermath of the ritual, and though it was a success, there were some ramifications that we had to deal with in the following episode, the last episode, which was mostly Emmy and the effects of her drinking Fey blood. It has essentially, it's rendered her disciplines useless for some time. We don't know when or where or how long, but she can't use her disciplines. Although in character, I don't think we've fully comprehended that just yet.
She hasn't even tried. I don't even think
yeah,
I haven't
she
tried to
fully
use an
knows.
ability.
Yes.
Yeah.
So, but that's more of a meta thing that we all know. But on top of that, she's become pretty upset with the world. It was that delicious, sweet bread that she thought about.
Yeah,
that
that banana
sweet bread, that banana bread from her childhood, back when Chicago was barely even a city. And she thought back to those times of what it was like to be a person, to be a human. And it's gotten her so melancholy about everything, to the point where we cannot even talk her out of it.
Oh my God. I'm sorry. The scene of the guy you just fed from on the floor, and then she just curls into him and is like cuddling. And
Yes.
Ollie grabs her. She's like, no, holding onto his finger. Oh, so
Yes.
Maggie, you did. It was so good. You did such a good job.
Because he's like, he was alive. He had like a heartbeat, and like Emmy was just like, I just want to
Hey, he
hear
wasn't
his
dead.
heart.
Maggie was almost too good at it because like it was like I think we were all like frustrated because like Dakota tried talking to her, Ollie tried talking to her, Ava tried talking to her, and like different perspectives on what it's like, being a kindred, and it's like it's gonna be okay, and trying to talk into her that she's basically like, I'm ready to walk out into the sun at this point. Like, there's no point in anything.
It was Ollie, just Ollie that made the jab. He's like, then why don't you go walk into the sun if you miss the sunlight so much? And she was like, maybe I will.
Yes. And I was like,
and he's like, wait, that's not what I meant.
Yeah. And so Ava was like realizing that this is because of maybe if she gets more Fey blood, maybe that'll make it better. I was like, all right, Emmy, we'll get you some more. And that kind of put her in a better mood. And Dakota and Ollie were like, no, that is not a good idea. No, Ava. So that
you don't even know where you're going to get it either.
Yeah.
I had an idea.
I mean, true.
But I will not explore that idea. But yes, so that was really the majority of the last episode was really that, like, just trying to.
And the one before that was a beatdown.
Yeah, to speak to.
And you all had like such good convincing things, but like Emmy's also like a really old venture, so like she's good at talking, and like she'd walk around the things that you guys were bringing up, and you're like, oh damn, she brings up good points.
Yes.
Emmy in her diary, dear diary, mood, apathetic.
Yeah.
I'd like to imagine Emmy has like 300 diaries like stashed in a box somewhere. All right. If that's all, then shall
Just
we?
Crayon drawings.
Yeah.
Yeah. Shall we jump back in and see what's been going on with obviously Nelson, but see how Emmy's feeling along the way. So without further ado, let's set the scene.
Ava's mom now.
Back into mom mode. Yeah.
Oh, you're back.
Yes.
Dakota
also,
talk.
Dakota tried to get me to mother Emmy, which still doesn't understand that it's different because Emmy is not a fledgling. Emmy is an extremely old vampire.
Also,
so
I don't know. Maybe it's just me. Just like the fact that after watching you mother, shall we say, quote unquote, a couple of kindred, the fact that Dakota's like, you know what? Go mother this other one.
It's probably not a good idea.
That feels like it won't end well if she tries, but hey, let's see what happens.
Also, we did get a bunch of information from Dakota researching resisting the throne of tyranny too.
They figured out, that was the other thing is Dakota sort of
I think that was like the other big piece.
What Cretius was doing. Because the big thing is she's like, what the fuck are you doing, Cretius? And Cretius answered by giving her a book. And then
But I think we already knew, like we kind of were coming to those assumptions before, but now it's like Dakota knows, like.
Yeah, you were taking threads that were there and you kind of like, oh, okay, it kind of connects like this. And now she got confirmation that, Cretius is doing stuff that really only a freaking Methuselah, he's going to be dealing with other things, essentially. All right, without further ado then, let's go ahead and set the scene, rein things in, and see what our coterie has been up to. As our eyes and ears come back into Chicago and the world reforms in front of our very senses, we hear the sizzling popping of hot oil as fresh French fries are being dropped in, the sizzling and crackling of a fresh patty tossed on the grill, and the grumbles of a familiar but friendly voice of Grant as he's shouting something to the bartender about he's going to need another minute. He accidentally burned the burger and, give the customer beer on him. It's the typical pleasant sounds and smells of the Lights Out pub. And as we ourselves as the viewers arrive, it's an hour or so into our evening, as Ava, Emmy, and Ollie are already there. However, Dakota, as you're well aware, and a reminder to everybody, has been called away to deal with gangrel preparation for the upcoming Elysium that is just on the horizon. And as you all come together, maybe it's not, I'd be curious if, I doubt Emmy would know, even Ollie probably is not paying attention, but do anyone other than Ava know that tonight is the 1 month mark of Nelson having walked away?
Yeah, Ollie is, he's tried to stay on top of it as much as possible.
Yeah. I think Emmy probably does know because she had been trying to get in Ava's favor, and
That's
clearly like her children were like the way to get to Ava.
Ollie, you healing up?
I lost her other child, but that wasn't my fault. That was Ollie's fault.
Everybody may rouse check me for the evening. That's correct. And obviously, if you spent willpower, refill either her composure or your resolve, whatever's higher. Half of your composure or resolve, whatever's higher, rather.
Mm-hmm.
I'm going to try to be better about calling that out because I never call that out either.
Now I'm going to remember that I can rouse twice.
Yeah. Keep the blood potency chart open. I think there's one you can pop out in the roll 20. Should give you a little bit of a
I
list.
put the notes in my notes
Yeah,
section,
perfect.
so now I will see them.
2 aggravated.
Still got 2 left.
Yeah,
Okay. What's your hunger at? 3?
3.
Okay, good. Manageable. Emmy, you're at 2, and Ava's at 2. Oh, Nelson, you don't have to make any rolls, obviously. Okay. So
I'm actually at nothing. It's still tracking my hunger from like when I made those fake rolls earlier, even though I
Weird.
removed them.
Oh, okay, yes. There's a way to.
Either way,
Hunger.
that's the scene we come into. And out of curiosity, after an hour or so passes, you know, Emmy's probably the last one that arrived tonight. She's been waiting since last night. It's only one night since the last episode. Emmy, I imagine you waited at home a little longer just to see if anybody came to hand over word of the information you put out the night before. Nothing comes this night, but it's only the night after. Who brings up Nelson?
Don't die.
No promises. Is it kind of an awkward convert? Like, how does Nelson come up? Is it Ava? Are you like immediate? Do you walk in? Are you the last one in? And you're like, hey guys, guess what? Like, how does as our scene comes into a familiar site with obviously Dakota gone?
Oh yeah, when I arrive, does Ollie say
I think.
anything?
Yeah, Emmy arrives probably the last one. She kind of drags her feet as she's coming in.
Well, I mean, our last experience with Emmy was that she was pretty, you know, she's going through some serious like sadness / PTSD. So gonna give her an opportunity to kind of feel a little normal, you know, not highlight the situation. I think for Ollie, it looks like he's letting Grant and Mac, the bartender, know that he's gonna step out, probably gonna have someone with him. Might look a little weird. You know, Grant's already uninformed, but
Yeah.
Mac's not into the deets yet. He doesn't really quite know what's going on.
And I don't imagine you plan on bringing Mac into the deets unless necessary right now.
Correct.
Yeah.
Correct. Last bartender went real south with. So
Yeah, it didn't go well for her.
Yeah.
Either way. So yeah, then it's kind of your typical night, and Emmy comes in. She's looking down, but she's here. She was missing last night. You weren't able to find her, but she's here tonight. And so yeah, that's the scene we walk into. I want to hand it off to you. Whoever ends up making the first conversation, take it away.
probably wave through the open like bar window. It's just like, hey, I'll be in a minute, and continue the thing.
I think Emmy just kind of like drags herself in, but like doesn't really. Normally she's like skipping and waving, and this
Yeah.
time she's not. She just kind of like nods her head and makes her way.
This is gonna be
into
a
the
weird
back.
question, but bear with me. Emmy, you, since for the longest you can remember, anywhere you've ever gone, you've always had lamb chop. What are you doing with your arms? Are they awkwardly by your side? Are they
Oh, man.
crossed? Do you even know? Does Emmy even know
Yeah.
what to do with
Weird.
them? It's like being in front of the camera for the first time ever, and you're like, "What do I do with my arms?" What? Yeah, out of curiosity, how is Emmy carrying herself without her toy
I think she just has her hands like clasped in front.
Well, yeah.
Yeah,
That's
or in
much
back,
more
depending. Yeah.
So like for me, if they're in front, it's more of like a little girl kind of vibe. If they're behind you, I imagine it's like it only gives me Venture-y vibes, but it's up to you because you carry yourself. If it gives you little girl vibes, putting them down behind your back, your call. Whether they be in front or behind.
I think it depends on the situation that she's in.
Yeah, you're walking into the bar. So just, either way, she's not looking like the Emmy you all know.
I
Not
think
surprising.
even maybe her wardrobe is a little more like she's not wearing her like
Little
bright
bows.
frilly dresses. It's more like simple.
Is she wearing the same thing she wore the night before?
Would I have had a lot of time before?
Yeah. You
Or was
would have
that
had
did
time
that
to
take
change
up?
and stuff. It's just, well, I'm just curious if Emmy has.
I think maybe she's wearing more dark. Like her
Okay.
bows are like black
Oh,
instead of like
Ava's
matching
familiar
colorful
with
to her
this.
dress.
Ava's familiar with this turn.
you're right.
So as Emmy walks in a much darker attire, quietly, does anybody
I
say
give-
anything?
I exchange eyes with Ollie. I'm like, oh no, because
Gonna come out
Ollie.
the kitchen, get the swinging door. We didn't see you yesterday, kid. Where you been?
Busy doing things, you know.
No, I don't.
You have businesses.
Yeah, but mine's very public facing, where people can see me and find me. Nobody could find you.
Isn't that the point?
You still on this?
No one wants to find me anyway.
That's bullshit. I went to your house. I had a cookie from your mom.
She makes
Right.
the best cookies.
I don't know. I didn't really eat it. I mean, that'll have to upchuck after. It's a bit of a problem, but
It's worth it.
to counter your point, yeah, people were looking for you. Me, precisely.
Did you need something?
Yeah, you. I just needed you, Grandma. Okay, is that all right? Don't you ever feel needed?
No.
Okay, well, let me be the first then. Your company is needed.
Yes, it is. It's good to see you this evening, Emmy. You
What
look
do you need
nice.
me for?
I don't know.
Just hanging.
Yeah, I'm trying something different.
It's just a need, right? Like don't you ever just want something?
All the time.
Okay, well, I wanted you around. I like your morbid company. Get over it.
I see that. You surround yourself by things like hamburgers.
Yeah, well, the hamburgers are great. You should really open up your palate. Life is better than cookies sometimes. I promise.
Yeah, Grant told me all about it.
In great detail, mind you. Every crunch, every drop of, I'm hungry. Oh, another one? You want to hang out? Actually, he goes and pulls up a stool. He's like, I'll start making my one right now. Don't worry about it. And he walks off.
I mean, we'll pop on, like, sit up on the stool, like, climb up there.
Well, I mean, Grant, don't worry about getting too comfortable. I got to step out. I don't know if the ladies are going to join me or not, but tonight's the return of the prodigal child. Nelson's coming back tonight.
Oh, there's a moment where Grant looks like he didn't know what the fuck you were talking about. He said Nelson, he rolls his eyes. Tonight, it's already been a month. Feels like just a weekend.
It feels
I
like
know.
it's been much more than a month,
Well, yeah.
actually.
It's because he like smells like Saito, so any day without the smell of Saito is like a year for you.
The only added benefit of his immediate step away is that the incremental loss of cheesecake has been disturbingly low.
I'll have to smell him.
That is the weirdest shit I hope I hear all night.
Yes, Ollie, I am definitely going with you.
Okay, good. You coming along? Well,
That's why I'm
I
here.
lied. You shouldn't come along.
Because of the witch?
Yeah,
Maybe she should see her in this state. Maybe she can help.
I have a strong, sneaking suspicion that she's not going to be allowed.
You know, I'll go talk to her later. She'll listen to me. Don't worry about it.
Oh, God.
What?
Grant, I
Jealous? Smell
forgot.
jealousy
I
in the
forgot.
air? No, just
Oh, my-
hamburgers.
No. Okay. Actually, Grant may have a better chance than all of us. Maybe you should come with us to see your girlfriend.
So does Ollie do anything to that?
He just blinks, like forcefully blinks several times at what he's hearing.
No, Grant, clearly things are getting serious. So maybe he should come with us.
Who's gonna take my place at the grill tonight? I didn't bring any extra help.
I look at M, and then I look to Mac. Maybe you should. I'll man the grill. I'll stay here with M.
Yep. Oh, you serious?
Wait,
Yeah.
you're going to stay?
Yeah, I'm gonna stay.
Oh, great. Oh, okay.
Emmy
Grant,
don't need to. She don't need to be. Look at her. She's like a fucking this 8-year-old black veil bride. Okay, these tears don't fall. They crash around me. She's being super emo
Yeah,
still.
no, I can hear you.
I know you. That's why my voice projects. Even if I whisper, you're gonna hear it.
Well, maybe I want to see the witch.
Okay, go right ahead.
I think we should make it a family trip.
This place has to make money.
I'm
Does
gonna
it,
stay and grill.
Ollie?
Goodbye, everybody. Get out of the bar. Hey, you're
We
all
have-
silly kids. I'm the manager. Go. I'm
All right,
staying.
fine.
I don't
Grant,
kiss in front of other people. It's awkward.
I think he just.
I
You know
think
what,
it's
I'm not
fine
gonna-
if you want to kiss in front of people.
I know you do, but it's just, it's not fine with me.
What's wrong?
Kiss
You a little-
while you
You a
can.
little shy?
I can't give away my secret technique.
What's the tech? Can you just show me?
No.
Emulate. Here's an
Well-
orange.
How about I show you by myself in your room with the door shut?
No, what the No, that's insinuating a lot.
Well, yeah, you want to know.
Can the door be open? Can I be on the other side of the room, or do you have to be like next to me?
Oh, you in there with me?
I volunteer.
I can't.
This-
No.
Is this what they call a bromance? Is this happening right now?
Is that, yeah, it's something like that.
I always
I might
knew
have
this
to
night-
step
this
away.
time would
Ladies,
come.
hold on. I
No,
might
no,
have to
go,
step
go,
away for
go
this.
right now. There's a man, Nelson. He's waiting for you, is he not?
Yes.
A man. He's a man now.
He's
Oh,
I
oh,
almost forgot his name for a second. I'm sorry.
Let's let's just go and forget this whole conversation happened. How about that?
Yeah,
I'll
that's
never
fine.
forget.
Yes, Emmy, you come along. Ollie, you can lead the
I-
conversation with the witch because I do not like to talk to her. And there we go.
I gotta be real for a minute. I don't know what's gonna happen when we get there and they turn us away because Emmy is in tow.
What
I
are
can
they
just
gonna
leave if they don't want me there.
What are they gonna do? I mean,
Turn us away. No shirts, no shoes, no service. Kind of turn away.
she
I have
drank
shoes
a
and
bit
a
of
shirt
Fey
on.
blood. How is they gonna be able to know? Like, she's different in her demeanor, but I think it'll be fine. I'm not worried about it.
All right, this sounds like a you problem. We'll play this out.
Yeah.
Sure.
So, the three of you?
Yes.
All right. Three of you head out. Is there any conversation the three of you want to have, or is it a pretty quiet trip all the way to the yards?
I think Ollie would pry again. So, you gonna stay on the hush or you gonna tell me?
Tell you what,
Come on. Look, you might look 7, but you're too fucking old to play these games, all right? What did you do yesterday?
business.
What does business look like?
You do know I have a lot of my own business.
I do.
Gary doesn't run itself.
You went to Gary?
Maybe.
Place is a shithole.
You know I don't have to go there to deal with things.
No, even 7-year-old women are difficult. Jesus Christ.
You having lady problems?
I am having several lady problems.
He lives with 2. So yes, he's constantly having lady problems.
What are your lady problems?
I cannot wait for Nelson to come back. I kind of wish Saito was here right now.
Which reminds me, I still have his ring. I just forgot that I had the ring. It helps get me in character. I'm a method actor.
What are you gonna do with the ring?
Probably my usual bullshit. My usual hoodoo voodoo shit, as Ollie likes to call
I
it.
love it that you caught on to it. That's so you know what?
Yes,
We
I
all-
did.
We all grow up a little bit. That's nice. That's nice. I like that.
Yes.
And what does that mean?
I mean, it is kind of spooky though, right? Like, let's be real. Like when we were alive, we watched movies about that, and you're just casually like, Mugu Wagwai fights Si Chow, and suddenly dead people.
I think it's a gift. I mean, I've always seen it as a gift because that's what people said back in before I was turned, that I'm gifted. Oh, I can see things. I'm gifted. So
Is that what
That's
you
what
said?
they do to try to help you cope with being dead.
that's what my parents said.
Okay. All right. Well, I mean, yeah, you're gifted. It's a spooky gift, but you're gifted.
And we've learned a lot from it, have we not?
I've learned to be more concerned than not. That's what I've learned. But you're right. We did glean some information from it.
You also got hurt.
I mean, that's also part of being an adult, right? We're constantly living in the school of FAFO. We're fucking around and finding out.
Yes. I would agree with that. But that is neither here nor there. We have other things to deal with. But I do think eventually I need to figure out some more things. So
Before
So what do
you
you- what do
get
you-
your ring?
What do you think Nelson is going to be like? You know,
I don't know, and I'm scared.
You went
actually.
to that place, right?
I did, and it was nothing
spooky,
I've
huh?
Yes, exactly. I'm not sure if it was scarier or more intimidating than the abyss. It had its
People
own
don't usually
level.
come back
Wait,
from
wait,
there.
what? You went to the abyss too?
Yeah. I've been there quite a few times. Where do you think I talked to Sybil?
That's true. Has Ava ever like expressed that she's truly like surfed the surface of the abyss numerous times.
I don't think she's said it.
Yeah.
Is it like said it like that?
I don't know if she
before.
said it out loud. I figured maybe you guys have figured it. I don't know. Yeah, it's a good.
Where do you
question.
think me and Saito have our conversations, Ollie?
Holy shit!
We don't have them here on the material plane.
You're like the fucking Silver Surfer of the vampire world. That's why. How do you're Doctor Strange? You're projecting? Holy, that's wild. That's wild. And I mean, you come back, but like last time you did, you got hurt, right?
Yeah, that actually fucked me up really badly the last time I went to that.
So
fairy
you're gonna,
place.
you thinking you're gonna?
But you're lucky
you're
Regan
gonna go
came
back?
back.
Well, the witch assured us that Nelson would be safe, and if she is,
She's good.
If-
She's good.
she is not, Ollie. I don't think you'll be able to control whatever happens after that point. If something actually happens to him,
Well, calm
I
down.
will have her head, and I will
Calm
throw it
down.
in that
It's-
fire.
Listen. She helped us out.
I volunteer to eat her.
What the fuck is wrong with
And
you?
I will
Why-
let you do that, Emmy.
Holy, women are insane. Women are actually insane. You are clinically insane.
You know what, Ollie? I'm not getting into this right
Do you
now.
know why? Listen, do you know why guys are so great about things? Because you can just
Tell
fucking
me,
punch-
Oliver.
You can punch each other, and then you can have a beer afterwards and get over it.
Okay, yeah.
And you're
but
like, I'm gonna eat her. I'm gonna
do you
tear her
not
head
think
off
there's a
and suck her
problem
dry.
with that? With the way you and Grant think it's just so funny to just, oh, let's make our stupid guy jokes. Like, it's no different, okay?
You know the difference between Grant's jokes and mine versus yours and someone else's? Mine and Grant's joke is like, hey, we're really stupid dudes who has girl problems, and we don't know when girls say or do things that they mean. And you're like, well, life was bad. I guess I'm going to go kill one of my fuckboys tonight because I'm hungry. It usually end up with bodies. You got a body problem. I got an emotional disorder that I need therapy for. All right, there's a difference.
What does that have to do with you being a boy and her being a girl?
Girls are complicated, and you're monsters. You were monsters before you got fangs.
Gladly. I gladly take that as a compliment. Thank you.
That you got a body problem stacking up?
Well, you know what? I am not engaging in this anymore, Ollie.
I know. You
Look what
don't
you've done now.
negotiate with terrorists, right? Okay. All right. Classic. I love that. Oh, well, look, we're here.
You pull up on it. And as you pull up and step out of the car, walking across the dirt path to the yard itself, Emmy and Ava, composure resolve check.
Oh, great. Okay. Maybe Ollie should have just came by himself.
Why composure resolve? Ooh.
Don't worry about it.
Don't worry about it. Is that what you said?
Yep.
Are you blood surging?
Yeah.
Oh, you attempt to rouse the blood.
Oh,
And there's a
oh
moment
no.
where you go and you know that it's habitual. You know how the blood feels when you draw on its power, how it thickens and courses through you. And as you walk and you attempt for your body to just do what it does so naturally, there's even maybe a few moments before you realize, wait, nothing happened.
Ooh, so I don't get the benefits of that.
You just get a flat roll.
R.I.P.
Interesting. R.I.P.
Still two
Indeed,
successes
and that was
is
a
two,
bad
but yeah.
roll for me. Oh my gosh.
With 3 and 2, respectively, as you both attempt to cross what could be considered the front gates or the boundary into doing so, I mean, you just don't feel like it. So much so that it doesn't matter how much anybody tries to convince you to go in, you're not going in there. And if you physically attempted to get brought in, something will happen. Ava, you take a step in, and what you see is a swarm of iridescent blue moths consume you, and in a moment, you're about a foot away from the entrance again.
Oh,
Ollie would have
fuck.
you wouldn't have heard or seen any of that. You would have just like looked behind. They would have been. Emmy would have just stopped and.
Emmy stops, and then she swaps her hands from being like in front of her to behind her, and she just turns around and starts walking the other way.
And so Emmy turns around, is walking away,
And she's like,
I changed my mind.
and then she just turns around.
and
You're
Ava
leaving?
looks kind of confused.
Yeah, okay, hold on. I was not just here. a second ago, and you're leaving.
Yep. Emmy's walking by. She says, "Never mind. I
You're
changed my
very
mind."
observant.
I love Emmy.
Okay, where are you going? Are you good? Can you just?
You're just gonna wait in the van, I'm assuming.
Yeah, I was gonna say, just wait a minute. Ollie and I will handle this. And Ava, without thought, is just gonna try and go right in again.
Same exact thing happens to Ollie. It doesn't look like she moves at all.
What are you waiting on?
I'm following you.
You try
And
again?
she just goes
And
in
it
again.
happens
All right,
again
I'll
to you.
wait.
And it happens
Come on.
again to you, Ava. And every time it happens over
What
and
the
over.
fuck?
And Ollie, she just doesn't look. She's moving. She'll be like there for a few seconds, like looking, like she's about to move, not frozen in time. She's about to, and then she's like, then she starts looking around confused.
What the fuck?
Oh, I know what this is. You know what I know what this is. It's one of them women problems I was talking about.
Are you fucking kidding me, Ollie?
I mean, what's happening with her? It points off to Emmy. She was so interested a moment ago, and now she's suddenly not. The super flip-floppity. And you're just staring at it like
Ava,
I'm going, Chief.
You may make me
And
an
nothing
intelligence
happens.
occult check.
Okay.
Hopefully that's not to Ollie. Nothing, dude.
Bub's like, that's not happening.
Ava, with 3 successes, it's less direct knowledge and more a feeling and understanding. You don't belong to the Fae that powers her fire. You belong to somebody else. You can't breach their territory. This fire,
All right.
this fire that she has comes from a different Fae. A deal with a different Fae. Not the one that you made a deal with. It's
Well,
something, it's just a territorial understanding in a way.
I don't think I can join you, Ollie, nor can Emmy. We'll have to
Not
wait
a
here.
girl problem.
Yes, it's something a bit deeper than that, unfortunately, I think.
All right.
So please pick up Nelson. I will be waiting here.
Is Ollie prod at all?
He just kind of dumbfounded, like, all right. It's something going on.
It's that fire.
It doesn't affect us, so it doesn't hurt.
No. I can't go near it. It's the stuff that I did with that other Fae.
Which time?
The deal that I made to get the information on the ritual.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, what about it? Can you move your feet?
I can move my feet the other way.
I'm going to
can't-
walk up and I'm going to try to pull her in to see what happens.
Yeah, and you may make me, if you'd like.
Unless she stops. Like, if he's going to reach out and kind of like grab you if you extend your hand.
Yes, she'll try to go to follow him in.
As you reach forward to take his hand, as you reach for the hand, Ollie, as you're just about to clutch around it, her own hand bursts into 4 different moths and scatter around her, fluttering nearby, but never going too far. Yeah, if you rub your eyes and you look back, her hand's back. It's normal.
This is. Yeah.
I'm gonna get Nelson. Is the same thing gonna happen with her? Is she gonna burst in the moths?
It might be different with her because it might have something to do with what she drank. For me, it's whatever that deal is. So
Yeah, it's
Okay,
still-
like, I
it's the
take
same
it
rolls,
back.
but for different reasons, mechanically speaking.
Emmy's just like, you can just see like only her eyes and her like bow, her
Ollie
black bows through
Kind
the
of moves
window.
in a little bit. He goes, "Look, I take it back. All right, like I don't mean it's like a woman problem. Like it might be a little bit, but like, are you still a vampire?"
Absolutely.
yes, I still feed.
Well, I mean, I think they do too. They got mouths. What's the point of a mouth if you don't got a feet?
With
No,
3 in your intelligence occult, the only thing you can really think of is, I mean, you've all dealt with it. Fae deal with reality magic. You could still be a kindred, and they could still turn you into butterflies temporarily if that's what they fucking want to do, as long as you're within territory they have power.
it's beyond our comprehension, whatever
Oh,
this.
you fucking say that again.
So I guess I have to live with that now. Unlive with that.
Maybe it's just a space. I mean, all right, it doesn't matter. It's neither here nor there. I'll be back.
And Ollie
Thank
strolls
you.
in. And as Ollie strolls in, our camera pulls back, reaching higher and higher, where Ollie gets smaller and smaller until we see the entirety of the yards before our vision hard cuts. And we rewind 1 month. Or for Nelson, somewhere around a year, you think. You stopped counting the days after a certain amount of time. You know, we'll get to it. For you, Nelson, we bring you back to the moment you walk in. That first step into the hedge, disorienting plunge. One moment you're standing on the solid ground, a familiar cityscape of Chicago behind you, familiar trash surrounding you. And as you crawl through these little cars into this small little passageway, the next you're enveloped by the swirling vortex of thorns and leaves, the air thick with the scent of damp earth and rotting blossoms. I imagine, because does Nelson, this is a weird question, but I don't think I've ever asked, does Nelson reflexively still breathe? Or is that something
I
he
think he probably does, yeah.
Because he's still kind of young. And so, I'm curious. So I imagine that, yes, you are smelling this as the rotting smell of Chicago leaves you. Eventually, that swirling vortex of thorns that tears into your flesh that heals relatively quickly does eventually give way, and you regain your footing. As you look around, the world around you is a strange combination, a weird kaleidoscope of twisted perspectives and colors, intermixed with dying vines and thorns. Paths seem to spiral upward in all directions, then twist back on themselves. Looking away from it from one moment, you realize forming impossible loops that defy gravity, a non-Euclidean space. A towering tree grows sideways, its roots reaching toward a sky that seems to bend and fold in on itself across an arc. The sunlight that filters through the leaves, perhaps you even wince initially. Oh, Nelson can walk in the day, actually, can he?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, so it wouldn't be actually anything surprising. The sunlight that filters through the leaves is fractured and casting a nice mosaic of multicolored shadows on the ground, and you catch a glimpse of movement out of the corner of your eye. For a moment, a fleeting, darting shadow, somewhere behind a gnarled trunk, maybe even a pair of glowing eyes peering out from the hollow, but it's gone just as quickly as it shows up. And you take this moment, and I got a curiosity. What do we see as our camera swirls back down from seeing all of these things, back down to Nelson? Nelson, I imagine, looking around. What is Nelson's immediate reaction? Is it excitement, fear? What is Nelson feeling as he steps through? You see your clothes are all torn up from all the thorns, but all the wounds that you had, I imagine you took a moment and allowed yourself to heal as best you could, being a thin blood. What do we see Nelson reacting as he steps out?
I feel like his reaction is a combination of awe at something completely beyond what he's ever experienced before, but also a fear of that he doesn't want to get lost in it. He has something to do, and he's here to make sure that happens.
So does Nelson begin walking in any direction, or does he stay pretty much where he stepped out of from?
Yeah, he only goes as far as he can tell there is a boundary before things start to change. So he really doesn't go very far from the entrance where
basically
he came
you want
in.
to keep walking as long as maybe you can still see like where you came out of, essentially.
Yeah. Just this immediate area.
Yeah, the immediate area, absolutely. Go ahead and make me a let me see what role I want this to be. This is gonna be a weird one. I've been excited for this episode for a long time. Give me an intelligence resolve check.
One.
Would you like to spend a willpower and reroll 3? You have 3 failures that you can reroll.
Yeah, why not?
So 2.
2.
So it's less of an immediate notice. You begin walking in a direction, one of the many paths that can branch out from this area. And as you continue to walk and, keeping in view the area behind you, you start to realize, maybe after a few steps further than you should have, or maybe even further than that, it's hard to keep track, that while you seemingly are making progress along this path, every time you turn around, the place where you started is basically right there still. You're barely past it. It seems to not be moving in terms of distance from you, even though the direction you're walking, you're seemingly closing distance as things pass by. And if you're confused, that makes sense, because Nelson would also be confused.
Yeah, I don't get that, and Nelson hates it.
Does he give up at that point, or does he try just to continue to walk as a little bit?
No, he's at that point he stops.
Yeah, you stop. And so Nelson, hesitating, unsure of where to turn, where to go, do you plop down? What does your first 24 hours look like? Do you immediately get to work, or does Nelson have to take a day or 6 to get used to what the fuck's happening here?
I think he takes his first day to just kind of plot out that immediate area and find a way to be comfortable here.
Sure.
Because he knows it's going to take a while to deal with this book. So he's just going to kind of walk around it, find somewhere a tree that he knows he can sit on, something he can, shelter under. He just kind of makes that space and
Absolutely.
Lays out a couple of his hoodies that he's got with him on the floor to.
What's higher for you, wits or intelligence?
Wits.
Make me a wit survival check.
Two.
And if you would like, you to let me know if you want to spend a willpower or not.
Yeah, why not?
Ooh,
There we go.
ooh.
5.
Yes. Not only do you make the place as comfortable as you can, you probably brought some supply. Did you bring supplies? Was this thrown on you, or I can't remember if
It was no. He got a little bit of time to prep, so he's probably got a couple of blood bags. He's got some equipment, some notepads, and
basic survival stuff. And you're able to scavenge, maybe to your surprise or maybe to your own relief. You can go out and interact with the branches, a tree that's growing sideways, you can reach up to and just snap a branch off. You're able to gather enough supplies to keep yourself comfortable. And you spend the whole first day doing that, and like you said, mapping out an area of a place that you can at least seemingly keep track of. You never ever bump into in the rest of that day a moment where you seem to be walking and making distance and nothing seems to bend beyond the geometry of the space that you're in any way. And you're able to spend the rest of your day setting up. The next day, I imagine, is when you would begin your studies then.
Basically, yeah.
You kind of get right to it. So
he gets right to it.
We'll get into
about much else.
a little bit more of what happens there, but something to note, you are provided food from the witch every 3 months. She brings 2 blood bags for you. And for her, that's about once a week. For you, it's approximately once every 3 months, give or take, because it's impossible to tell if time's passing, if it's passing at a regular rate, because night never seems to come. As you spend time here, the sunlight that now you've probably taken note of is a weird light green hue coming through all of the trees and in the space. It never sets. It moves and shadows move with it, but it's never dark. It continues to just kind of move through the sky. And if there's a few days where Nelson would spend time would that interest Nelson to track it? Would you spend time tracking sun movement or any of that stuff, or is that something he doesn't bother with?
No, I feel like he probably would end up tracking anything that changes, because he'd get bored after a while.
Intelligence academics check.
Oh, cool. I'm really good at that. 1.
You can't make any sense of how the sun moves. You just can't. You're doing your damnedest and it just seems chaotic. So you gave up after probably 2 or 3 days of attempting going back to your studies, as it were. You spend a lot of time there, but eventually you probably likely wander out a little bit, seeing if you can measure, and very similarly, things kind of stick within your location. I'm just going to imagine you never go too far away, unless you would Nelson would Nelson wander over the course of the first 3 weeks, no, let's say the first month, within that first month, would Nelson ever wander beyond his borders?
No.
Okay.
God, not in the first month.
No. Okay. First month comes and goes, and you've gotten rather familiar with this. Every once in a while, and I mean there's no time frame, so like 10, 14 days, so maybe 3 times in the first month, you swear you've heard something in the brushes. And once you're able to catch a pair of eyes again, but never are you able to get shape or how big this thing is, because where you're hearing sounds and where it's moving, you should have eyes on it, but you never do. And it's always less than a couple of minutes. Around, you hear some rustling and it moves. We move into our second month, and after your first month, you start to understand, you think, what he was doing, what Saito was after, and you understand why it's still no matter how long he had been working on it, this is fucking complicated, and you are concerned. He goes, A, you're not a Tremere. You're just not. And Saito was known for shortcuts as it is. But, and the reason that they approached you and the coterie approached you is you're a thin blood. And you have something that other kindred don't. Thin blood alchemy. Something Saito was interested in on some level at the very least. And so you're going to do your best to kind of patchwork this with your knowledge and that of your masters at some point and see maybe if you can make something out of this. And so you will spend, that's your first month, is kind of getting to an understanding where Saito was. Second month, do you wander or do you stick?
He starts to wander a little bit.
Okay, what is
He's
a little
still
bit?
extremely cautious about it,
Mhm.
but he goes to the edge of where he knows, and he starts to pick up parts that seem either interesting or maybe even useful, and he goes in that direction for a little bit.
Do you
then
ever
goes back.
turn a corner and lose sight of your where you're from, or your camp, or do you just make sure camp is always within sight for you?
I think because of the nature of the world that he's in, he doesn't want to lose that.
Okay.
So
And
no.
As you wander off, keeping sight of the camp, it's the same thing. You seem to be making distance, though. If there is an end to this, if there's distance here, if there's anything, you're not sure. But you know, objects pass you. It seems like the area seems to change as you walk, and yet when you turn around, there's your camp and the same exact kind of campsite. Would you walk, basically keep walking until as long as camp was in sight, or would you give up at some point and also go back to camp?
No, if he would be feeling a little bit more adventurous, so he'd
So you
walk
keep
a little
pushing
bit.
out.
He'd make some notes,
After about 3 days of this, walking and keeping your camp in sight, you do see something on the horizon. Something that is not the nature around you, or the bending trees at impossible angles, or the permanently glowing sun in the sky. An actual structure of some sort. And you begin to maybe hustle up, catch up, looking, make sure your camp is there. And as you continue to walk up, you start to recognize some things, and as it comes into view, it's your camp. And as you look around behind you, you see yourself on the other side of the camp. And as you turn around, you see yourself on the other side of the camp looking forward.
he takes the opportunity and does the Spider-Man thing.
It's opposite sides of the camp, so you're 100 feet. Oh, you point at yourself? You mean? I thought you meant poke yourself in the ass. I don't know why that's what I was thinking. You point at yourself, but you're always looking at your backside because of the way that it's working. So as you turn your head around, you see the back of your head, but the front of your body. And as you look forward, you see the back of your body and the back of your head.
Oh God, is that what I look like from behind?
You're getting a good understanding. Do you walk into camp?
Yeah.
As you step into camp, make me a composure resolve check as you immediately feel wild nausea. Before, as you do cross that boundary into your camp, you lose sight of yourself and everything around you is back to the way it was before you even left it.
Ooh.
Yeah, so you take it, you know what? You feel nausea. You're very nauseous. That something about stepping into camp made you feel like you got rotated 360 degrees in half a second. And when you do look around, you don't see yourself anymore. And like I said, all that progress you made is gone. You're back where you started.
I think, yeah, he just takes a minute, puts his head between his knees, and spits
Yeah,
up
yeah. So
something
month
like a
2
blood
was,
clot.
was pushing boundaries, you know, trying to test that stuff. You may give yourself 1 experience point for that month. Moving into the 3rd month, the very beginning of the month, the witch shows up. She shows up as she did the last you saw her, you know, naked with long hair. She looks at you with a big smile, kind of stepping out of the woods out of, where the fuck did she come from? And she smiles and tosses you a couple blood bags, waves anxiously, and like, just to make sure you're alive, like peeks, you wave, she waves, and then she leaves. Even if you say, go to say something, she walks away. Whether she's walking out in a hurry because this place is dangerous, or she's just like, got things to do, you'll never know, because she was smiling. Month 3.
Question: Was she like butt naked when she came and dropped them off?
Oh yeah.
Still,
Okay. Yep, still butt naked. Month 3.
for my vision.
Do you spend time in? What do you do with your 3rd month?
I think after the witch arrives, he realized he hadn't talked to anyone, so he starts talking to himself.
Fair enough.
Aww.
And you start babbling to yourself. Do you spend this month mostly researching?
I mean, yeah, it's a combination of research, probably building up like things to mess with when he gets bored, and like making his place a bit more homely, because he's like, well, this research is.
Did you draw
absolutely
pictures
screwed.
of like the
the-
coterie and hang them up? Like on a tree. You talk to them every night, like, yeah, no, Ollie, yeah, you're disappointed. I get it. Just
That's so
Ollie
cute.
with a frowning face. What does making your camp more homely look like?
He just like finds weird rocks and sticks that he likes and arranges them in pleasing formations.
I love it.
And like he tries to dig a hole to put his like blood bag in and like some of his stuff, and he's like, how can I cover it? And he messes around, and he's like makes a little stick man out of like weird twigs that he finds, and like
I love
puts
this.
them
2 things.
on the thing.
First, something I should note: you can never sleep. Even when you try to put yourself into a torpor, it doesn't happen. You never feel exhausted, and you never feel like you've, you know, forced yourself to stay up either. You are in perpetual awake energy. Just,
Oh God, that's awful.
yeah, you never get to sleep.
So that's exactly what he does. He makes his little, not really a cabin, but let's call it that, like a lean-to of sticks and
With
stuff
blood
that he's
bags and
gathered.
stuff. And as
Yeah,
as you're using
like,
the blood bags, I imagine a couple
Makes it
drops
as
of
dark
blood
as possible.
actually drop out and hit the ground a couple times. And something Saito would note immediately. Nelson. God damn it. Something
How
Nelson
many
would note immediately.
names you're gonna go through?
Is what little drops of blood do hit the ground are immediately absorbed into the dirt, and little green plants sprout out almost instantly.
That's fun. Yeah.
Something you know. It's not like you're gonna waste the blood. You don't know when you're gonna get fed again.
Yeah, he's gonna like put aside like the last dregs of the blood bag.
Yep.
And then he's gonna be like, okay, great, and squidges it all out onto one place, far enough away from his place, and he just like makes a bunch of plants.
Yeah, even like you can't control like wildflowers. Some are weeds, grass. It's kind of chaotic. There's no like trees that sprout, but little bits of plants do kind of in a trail of where you drop blood. I guess
Makes himself a little hedge.
my next question for you is: the next 3 months, do you ever wander away? As you approach the half a year mark, how fucking insane is Nelson becoming?
I think he plays little games with himself. Like he counts numbers and like various things he sees, and I don't think he goes crazy.
Cool. Yeah, that's fair.
But he does get a little loose. Just a little loosey goosey.
Yeah, you're alive.
And so he doesn't wander away. Like he tries several times, and I imagine the same thing happens where he feels disgustingly sick. So he does that a couple of times.
Do you ever?
And he's like,
I guess my question is, DM is: do you ever walk and turn a corner?
There is something deep inside Nelson.
I imagine months after months after months, it's tempting and more tempting.
Yes.
Go ahead. Sorry. Something
But-
deep inside Nelson.
He is far too cautious to just kind of throw that away. Like, he knows he has something important to do. So
Sure.
he
Absolutely.
is
He doesn't move.
in the first half of the year.
Sure.
Not going to do that.
At month 6, very first day, like, or at least you've probably been trying to track days. So I imagine what would be month 6 to your calendar in some way. Within, not the first day, by day 3 of that month, the witch shows up with a couple blood bags again, does the same thing, looks to make sure you're alive, waves, tosses them. And even if you say anything like hi, she just kind of waves, she doesn't say anything, and goes to leave. Take the blood bags, you live out, that's that. Okay, now the next 3 months, the third quarter of this year being spent. Anything changed with you?
He starts trying to talk to whatever it is that's stalking him.
Okay. You would notice over time, because you see it a few times, you saw it just like less than a handful. After you start talking to it or trying to call it out, it seems to show up a little more often. We're not talking daily. We're maybe talking once little every 8 days instead of once every 10 to 14, maybe just like a little bit more. But you think it's because you're talking to it. I mean, that is the only thing you've done, and there's a result. So that would make sense. And Saito would say, maybe do a couple more things, but you don't have time for that. So do you just keep, he's like kind of just like open, casual conversation, just kind of babbling at it?
Yeah, basically, he's like, do you like my stick, man?
So you're asking questions and stuff, and while you still don't really see anything, you do know it's around when you're speaking to it, but it does very similarly leave after just a few minutes, almost every time. The next 3 months go by where you spend, like I said, time talking to it, and then one last time the witch comes by, tosses you bags, leaves, and we move into the last 3 months. As our vision comes into those last 3 months, how's Nelson looking?
I imagine pretty raggedy. He is trying to keep a hold of himself, but like there's a hint of like a voice of Saito coming on in the back of his head, and he's also like imagining what the coterie would be up to. Like he's like, fuck you, Grant, as he walks out of the way. He's like, I got a little drawing of Grant like slapped to the side of a tree.
I love that. That's your day. Your daily has turned into a facsimile of what living with the coterie seems to have become for you. And as you do so, and your insanity seems to be creeping on ever stronger, you do hear that rustle again. But this time, it's different. This time, it's accompanied by a faint, flickering light that seems just out where you hear it. Usually, it's on the outskirts of your camp, through the thicket of vines and thorns. You can't see if a figure is carrying it or if it is the thing, but there seems to be a dull orangish glow coming from where the sound is coming from.
Yeah, he checks his surroundings as always. He's like trying to figure out whether he's actually lost it and this is real. But then he approaches it.
As you walk up to it, it doesn't run, but it does move a little bit away, almost in tandem with you. Maybe just a little bit after you start to walk, to give you, so Nelson doesn't think it's him again, like walking after himself. But it does stop and almost like wait to see what's happening. Still behind a thick brush of vines and thorns on your right-hand side as you approach. And you just basically walk up to it and look around the corner.
Yeah, like he's trying to find out where it's coming from.
Yeah, you don't.
But if it keeps on running away, he's just gonna like sit down and wait for it.
As you walk up to look around, give me a wits awareness as you look around the corner to see what this thing is.
Three.
With 3 successes, you see what you swear as it's dipping around another corner, and it's whatever it is, the light is bobbling with it, giving you an idea of maybe it's carrying this thing. You swear you see a tiny little foot that flies around a corner.
Gerald has a foot.
Well, what
Jerry.
kind of foot? Like a human foot? An animal foot?
A humanoid foot, a human foot. Yeah, not an animal paw or anything. An actual, like, looks like a foot. You shout Jerry and see if it shows up and doesn't come around the corner. But the dull orange light is like lingering just around the corner, the next corner.
He keeps going. He's gonna follow it.
As you step around the corner, finally waiting for my time to fucking do this. You begin to walk down a path following this little orange light. Maybe it's just out of curiosity, but eventually Nelson realizes, oh fuck, I did not keep track of my camp this time. And as you turn around, all you're greeted with is an unfamiliar, infinitely winding path that seems to just go. But in front of you, the orange glow is still there. And it's as you stop, it stops, almost waiting for you again. I imagine you continue?
Yeah, Nelson has a little panic attack when he realized like he fucked up. He did the thing he didn't want to do.
Yeah.
So he's gonna start like running after this orange light.
And as you do, and you whip around the corner, as you round the bend, the path that you're following comes to an abrupt end. At its precipice, a deep chasm yawns into a giant opening. And in the distance, you can hear a waterfall, because you can certainly see a bunch of watery mist that's kicking up from something down below, but that's also covered in such a thick fog you can't see all the way down there. I imagine you hesitate, unsure where to turn, but it's then that flickering light dances again, almost beckoning you forward. It's hovering in the middle of the chasm, in the middle of the air.
He takes his right foot and he gently kind of taps it out into the nothingness.
There. As you do so, you see the light almost bobble up and down a couple of times.
He looks back at the path he's gone, and
Yep.
I'm guessing he can't
You can.
see
As
where
you
he's
look
come
back,
from.
Yeah, you don't know where you came from, but there's a path,
Mm.
and it leads. You can walk away. You're not stuck here. You have an option. Yeah, I mean, you don't know what this thing is. You don't know what the fuck you're about to do. So it's absolutely logical for Nelson to be like, you know what? I'm going this other way.
I'm gonna make a roll because he is extremely timid.
Sure, please do.
Let's make just a composure resolve, and if it's high enough, he'll be brave. I guess he's taken a step.
Okay, I didn't have it open. Sorry, what'd you roll?
4.
Oh, 4 is very
Which
good.
is higher than anything else he's rolled so far.
So you take a step, and as you do so, both feet, I imagine, you are greeted with your worst fear, nothingness underneath, and you begin to fall. And as you fall through the immediate thick fog, the air rushing up past you, you're falling for maybe 3 seconds before you instantly hit fucking ground. You barely fell, maybe a foot or two. The fog was so thick. And as you stand up, you actually can hear, as you see the bobbling light kind of dance down, you hear a slightly more raspy, higher pitched cackling.
That was a dirty joke.
And you just hear, well. What do we have here? A lost fawn? All shiny and pale? No, perhaps. And then his voice drops a little bit more. A tasty midnight snack? And as he tilts his head, what you see before you, stepping into a more visible light, is a gnarled figure. Barely reaching your waist, it emerges from, like I said, this fog. This has its skin mottled patchwork of earthy browns and sickly greens, like a rotting log coming to life. 2 black eyes are gleaming from its skull, and they give off a very familiar to you predatory feeling. something you are familiar with just with who you surround yourself and being a kindred yourself. But not kindred, like, it's not a kindred, is what I'm saying. Anyway, these two eyes that gleam out are coming from like a mop of greasy black hair that almost completely covers his face, barring the eyes and a bit of his nose. Ragged clothes stitched together from scraps of cloth and animal hide can barely contain a wiry looking frame underneath. But the mischievous grin that splits across his lips, revealing sharp yellow teeth that seem too large for his tiny mouth, are what draw your attention back up to his face. You can hear the dangling clatters of metals somewhere underneath his jacket. And as he takes another step closer to you, having dipped his head a bit and saying, you know, are you a tasty midnight snack? What do you do?
He just kind of starts to wave away some of the fog.
Yep.
And
you push
is
yourself
like, well, I'm kind of glad of a conversation. So I am here.
He's very clearly eyeing you up to see if you're worth eating. He kneels down a little further, letting his nose within a few inches of yours. You can hear him taking a deep whiff.
I don't taste so good.
He takes a moment when you say that, and then he does a little hop back, and he nods, and his grin goes from predatory to more mischievous. And he then gives a half-hearted bow before popping back up on his feet, and he just simply introduces himself kind of out of nowhere. Name's Nibbles.
Hello, Nibbles.
He reaches out his little scrawny hand for a handshake.
He gives him a handshake.
As you do, as he shakes his hand, you're not quite sure what happened, but as you pull back from the handshake, it's still him, but his hair, while dangling, is now covered by a large mushroom that pulses. And the mushroom itself, getting a good look this close up, is clearly flesh of some kind.
That's a nice hat.
He just gives you a tip of his head, but doesn't say anything. Did you say you said your name was Nelson?
Yeah, he's like, I'm Nelson, and you have been the only other thing I've seen here. Why were you hanging out with me?
A better question is, why are you here? You belong out there.
That's right.
Are you lost?
No, I came here for
so you're an idiot.
A reason. Yeah, maybe.
He takes another step closer to you, and there's a moment in his eyes where he once again seems to weigh if you're worth eating, but that quickly vanishes before you say a word. And he takes a step back, and as he reaches to his jacket and he pulls it open, and he goes, "Perhaps I can be of service. Strike a deal. Get you something you need. Get you out of here."
Is this a fake deal?
As what you look at is a collection of odd trinkets that are dangling from the inside of his jacket and from his belt, which his belt seems to be fashioned from older vines. A tarnished silver thimble, a gleaming beetle wing, a cracked pocket watch that ticks erratically, and a tiny mummified hand clutching a rusted key are the things that grab your attention.
Ooh. These are really nice. I've got some stick people and some drawings.
He opens his mouth to laugh, but instead what you see is a long, thin tongue wind out, and he licks the face of his broken watch before he pulls it back.
Huh. Does it taste good?
Do you need it?
What does it do?
Gives you time.
Gives me time. I've had a lot of time recently. I don't really want that.
And please, I am no fae. I have morals, standings, principle.
My apologies. I knew I was in a strange place. So, but I mean, which one of these is your favorite?
Oh, he looks down and he's like, all of them. All of them are like my children. Giving them away will hurt me deeply, break my heart, and make me feel human feelings that you're used to and familiar with. It'll take a lot for me to part with any of them, but I'm willing to, for the right price.
Oh, I didn't bring any money with me.
And he just tilts his head.
Human money, you know, that really worth the thing that's worth a lot to humans, like our feelings. It's about the same, actually.
Do you have any gold?
He thinks for a second. Does he have any gold? I don't think he has.
Probably
I don't
not.
think he's touched gold.
What do you have of value on you? Anything?
If you had money, it would be like dollar bills.
Yeah.
not
It would be
gold.
in dollars, yeah.
You don't you carry gold around.
So he takes out his wallet and he grabs like a wad of It is Ollie's wad of dollar bills
That he gave you
him.
all that time ago?
It's like, these are used in place of gold for humans. They trade it for gold.
This is kindling, used for fire when we need it at our most desperate times. I don't need that.
You don't need fire?
I don't need your kindling, your green paper.
Okay. Just stuffs it back. So clearly you don't want things of value. And he puts it back in his
He
pocket.
very openly looks you up and down.
I'm not sure if you have anything of value on you. Perhaps you still taste good.
I already said that I didn't. You don't listen very well.
You could be lying.
I've not lied so far.
What is it you could use? Something that could help.
I would really like...
Look, I have to go to bed at some point. If we could figure this out any time now would work.
Yeah,
he looks
no,
at
that's...
even though he has a watch in his cloak, he literally looks at a bare wrist.
You mentioned emotions.
Yeah, there are a few people here that deal in that kind of thing. Not me specifically, but I could use it.
I would like something that I've got two. I don't know if you've got these things. There's two things I'm looking for. One, a thing that can make my friends happy. And two, something to find my mentor.
You lost him? Where is he?
I know where he is. I just can't get to him. He's really, really far away.
Well, unless I know where he is, I can't help you get to him.
Do you know where the ghosts are?
It kind of ghosts you talk about. You talk about human-style ghosts, angry ones that stick around for a while, ones that are around because they made deals with things they shouldn't have, the dead that just linger on for an eternity. Then you've got the mummies. Oh, you don't want to deal with them. They're really scary.
I'm gonna not pick at whatever that was, but the what if there's like a combination of all of them? An angry, lingering human ghost that made deals with things he shouldn't have. What if that's a thing? He was undead. He was dead. He was alive, but then he died, and then he became a ghost.
Sounds like you got a complicated problem on your hand, friend, but best I can just tell you is see if you can get into the Umbra.
Yeah, do you have something for that?
He looks down and he jingles the mummified hand holding a rusted key.
Ooh.
As for wanting to make your friends happy, I think I can do something with that.
Okay.
Is that it?
Is that all you need?
Yeah. I either of those two things. Yeah.
Either or both.
I don't know if I can afford both. I'm a bit strapped for gold.
Don't worry, we don't need any of your paper money here.
And as he says that, he brings his one up as one of his hands and he just snaps. And as he does so, a long unfurling piece of paper rolls outward, and then in his other hand you see a quill pop up. And as he walks forward, he's like, "I'm no fae, but I got legal obligations. I got to protect myself. You know, sue me, take me for all I'm worth. And in case something goes wrong or you die and you come back as a ghost,
to sue me.
And he hands over the contract.
What if I want to sue you? Anyway,
You can take it to one of
am
the courts, but you don't want to go to one of their courts.
And no, there's a genuine, he dropped all sense of humor there, and it was pure fear when he said
there's
that.
probably an awkward there's probably an awkward beat where he laughs and is like, yeah, courts here.
The fake courts.
I don't think Nelson knows about that.
Yeah, probably not.
He's gonna read the fine print.
Sure, give me an intelligence academics roll.
Cool. Can I rouse check for this?
Yeah, you can.
Nice. I am, however, a thin blood, so that gets me 1 dice.
Let me know what you roll.
2.
With 2, what the contract says is you will owe him 2 favors.
2 favors.
Yeah, think of it as an IOU, pay it forward. I get you what you need right now in your most dire of circumstances, and when I need you in the future, I can come a knocking.
You can ask.
Don't worry,
things
I'm not gonna ask you to go kill somebody or anything. Most of the time, I just need somebody helping me haul my goods from market to market.
in here or in the place where I should be? Because that's where I'll be most of the time.
But of course, in here. Have you ever seen us in your world?
Good point. Okay, that's fair.
Are you all this stupid?
No.
I've never dealt with one of you slick, pale ones before, and you smell weird.
I do smell weird. I've been here for a really long time without a bath.
What's a bath?
Yeah, you smell weird too. You should learn what a bath is.
He rolls his eyes and he reaches over and he over the contract, and you just see him bring his hand over and over it quickly, and he snaps. Suddenly you smell amazing, and there's just a little additional thing he provides you in his service. He doesn't ask for anything in return.
There, now I can bear being around you a little longer. Are we good? Can we sign this thing and get it on with?
Yeah, this has never come back to bite anyone in the ass. He signs it.
You do so, and as you finish it, in almost cliche storybook fashion, the quill vanishes from your hand, and the paper snaps up and rolls, and then you see just appear a wax seal on it as he tucks it into, wait, yeah, did he have that satchel before? Oh god, it's overflowing with scrolled papers all tucked in. He kind of jams it in there, and you see it crunch up a little bit as he's like, come on, just get in, come on. Okay, all right, so, as far as your friend thing, don't worry about it. Just think of it, be like, hey, I want to make him happy. Do it. Because, you can kind of just do it now. And you're going to be gifted what's essentially glib tongue, which is a very minor ability, but you're able to kind of just like tell a perfect lie to just your coterie members, as long as the intention is to make them happy. And so that's, you're going to get glib tongue. And then he reaches into his coat, grabs the monkey paw, and just hurls just like half-ass tosses at you.
Hell yeah, monkey paw.
With the key.
Yeah.
That's the important part, not the monkey paw. The reason it's gripping the key is because all the wishes were used, so I had to find a use for it.
Oh, you used it like a holder. Okay.
Yeah, I think it's decorative. I liked it. I had that.
No. I agree. It's like a conversation piece.
Exactly. All right, well, business is done. I got a place to go to, wife, and about 10, 20,000 children to feed. I'll talk to you later.
All right, catch you later. We'll haul goods.
He gives you a half wave, turns around, and vanishes into the fog. The light gone.
20,000 kids to feed.
Could be lying.
Busy.
As he leaves and the light vanishes in the fog along with it, you realize, fuck, where am I?
You didn't go back to your camp.
Yeah, I'm gonna.
Can I get a wit survival check from you, please?
God damn it. 4.
Beautiful. You takes you a week, but you find your way back to camp. And you come out back to camp being on sideways to it near the tree that was growing out of the land that way. And as you walk down to rejoin your camp, you get fucking sick again. You don't see yourself this time. It's just, that shouldn't happen. That's not. And you get a little nauseous. But you don't puke because you've probably gotten used to it a little bit by now.
Lay on the floor for a bit.
And so the final 3 months pass. You're never visited by the goblin again, but you're still occasionally a creature seems to come watch and listen to you talk, telling you that it's probably something different. But that final month, that full year kind of comes around and the witch shows up again. And this time she shows up much closer, almost like she was on the border of your camp. You actually hear her say something before you actually, and as you whip around, she's just standing there. Hi, you ready?
You gonna make me sign something?
No, I'm taking you out of here. Deal's done. We got to go back. Ollie's waiting for you outside.
Oh, we're done. Oh,
Yeah, it's been a month. Come on, let's go. And she runs over to grab you by the wrist.
oh my God. Wait, no, I need my things. And he gathers up
Yeah, so you,
all
like,
the
pull
stuff he
away.
brought with him,
Yeah,
but
yeah.
then also a couple of the stick people.
Yeah, okay, yeah. You don't get all of them, just a few of them.
All the ones he cares about.
So you grab
He
them.
leaves behind the drawings.
Fair. And she grabs your wrist again, and she pulls you through, back in through the hedge, as the similarly to the first time around. You know, they tear at what's remaining of your clothing, your skin, and so on. But eventually, you are pulled back out into a dingy car. Oh, yeah, that's right. That's how you got here. And the smell of Chicago, and holy crap, it's dark out. Oh, God. How long has it been since you've seen darkness in any way? Before you can even say anything, disoriented as you may be, you step out, and Ollie, you walked around and you were welcomed kind of in your normal way. And you see him being pulled out, and he looks like, I mean, he looks like he's Nelson. He's a thin blood, so like he didn't, you know, grow a shaggy beard. But also, he does not look like he's like mentally maybe okay. He's like ruffled looking. His clothes are ripped apart. He probably has like a wild look in his eye. And as you actually get a closer look at him, Ollie, you also realize some of his features have been not changed, sharpened almost. His jawline is more defined. He has more of an elegant, limber build, and his eyes give a. They were what they were color were they before? Sean, fuck Nelson.
I need to play more characters. That's what this is telling me. That's a good
It's
question.
just been Sean with you basically for the past 2 months, so it's all I've been calling you.
Let's
What color were your eyes? Were they blue?
say they were green. I don't
Green?
know. I might have said
So
it.
they're still green, but they're like an emerald green. And before Ollie goes to say something, we'll cut to black, go on break, and we'll be back in 5 to 10 minutes to do the back half of the show. We'll see you in a little bit, everybody. And I will mute everyone this time. Welcome back, everybody. Bam. Wait, bam. There we go. Welcome back. Hope you enjoyed your break.
We were
kinda
having
just-
deep conversations during break.
Yeah, we're having deep conversations. But now we have
Yes.
to have deep conversations with somebody else. Ollie, as we leap right back in, you see exactly what I described. It's Nelson. And the changes are not like mega prominent,
They're subtle, but they're
they're
there.
subtle enough to notice, especially for somebody who's known Nelson for a little bit and has worked for you for a while. And Nelson, as you step out, I can't imagine. It's what's running through your head. It's the first time you've been in the real world in what you marked over a year, by several days over a year. But fuck, you're back in Chicago and all of its loud glory, the smell of garbage and all that stuff comes rushing back.
Wow. Ollie, did you
Hey,
bring
bud.
cheesecake?
I didn't, but we'll make a stop. You're looking sharp. You're looking like you were drawn. Yeah. Yeah, how you feeling?
I mean, you look like you've been drawn as well.
Yeah, well, I still same old me. You do look a little different though. Like you lose some weight in there.
I feel different. I don't know if weight is a concept in that world. Like, I didn't really do a lot.
It's been a long month, man. It really has.
Yeah, this is the first time you've heard of how long it's actually been, because the witch didn't say shit to you. You say that, and you just look. The look of shock ripples
It's been
across
a-
Nelson's face very openly.
It's been
Shock
a
and
month.
terror.
Like to the day, damn near to the minute.
Hmm. You always were funny.
I mean, thank you. I like to think I'm a real prankster, but I ain't joking.
It's time to go. Bye. Time to go. Bye. And she starts like waving you out, and you can hear garbage bags moving as her followers start coming around.
I'm gonna walk. You want
That's the most
anything?
I've heard her talk in like a year.
She's weird like that. So you want cheesecake or you want something else? It's I consider like a return date or something.
As you're
Want
saying
cheeseburger?
that, you're walking out, and as you're walking out, there's Ava waiting for you. And
Oh,
there
wait,
is Nelson.
But before we move too far past the shadow here, she can't come in here.
Well, that's fine. I'm leaving. I'm not coming back. I'm leaving. That's fine. I can deal with that.
Oh, Nelson, there was. She kind of mentally went in after you, and she didn't come out unscathed. On top of that, she may have made a deal with a fairy.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, cool. We're on the same page here. Cool. Let's go.
He was like, cool, fine, fuck it,
No,
whatever.
like, oh, okay, cool.
Let's go. Ava, you actually notice as well.
It's totally normal.
It's Nelson, but Nelson is much sharper features. And as you look at him,
Oh no.
there's something familiar.
Oh
Maybe
no.
it's because he's a descendant, or maybe it's because it's who he was studying, or maybe it's because magic. But it's almost like he took on some subtle Saito features.
Oh no.
Slightly
Mathis.
sharper jawline. You
What are
know,
you doing, Mathis?
I'm not doing anything. The head does what it does.
Yeah.
But it's
Oh,
not
no.
like, he doesn't look like he transformed into fucking Saito. He still looks 100% like Nelson. There's parts of him that are accentuated a little bit differently now. And then the emerald green eyes just strike. You may take one more point in charisma.
Whoa.
Nice. You know
Look
what
at
that
you.
takes me to? 2 points in charisma.
Doubly handsome.
Hang on. No, I need to
My
look something else
boy.
real quick for Nelson. Where's your character sheet?
He went full A Court of Thorns and Roses. If you know, you know, chat.
Wait, where is he? Oh, there's Nelson. Nelson, you can drop your intelligence by 1. No,
Oh,
no,
God.
drop your resolve by 1, not your intelligence.
Okay.
Oh no.
Wait, and drop what by one?
His resolve goes down by
Resolve.
1, his
Resolve.
charisma goes up by 1.
You need resolve. Ooh.
Oh, it didn't reduce him down to 1, don't worry.
Okay.
Just 2. No, I'm just kidding. I don't know what it is.
0.
It's just 0. But yes, he steps out and it's just, it's been a month for you. Nelson, it has been a long time.
Ava, well, can't run up to him because
No, he's stepping
she's
out. He's stepping out now. So yeah, you can like
as
run
soon as he's out of the circle of no that I can't enter, Ava will run up and like give him a hug.
Yeah, he'll run up in the opposite direction and give you a hug back.
Is Emmy kind of just watching from afar? Or is she in the van waiting?
Emmy's in the van, and you can just see like her eyes watching with her little bows on the top of her head. But I think like the camera can see that she's actually smiling as they hug each other, because I think like that's like it's like a very happy thing.
Aww.
But then she goes back to
being sad.
Yeah.
Nelson?
Ava.
Nelson?
Ava.
You've changed.
Can we just let's go.
Yeah, you walk in the van. I imagine you're like on the drive home. I mean, his clothes are ripped up. He looks like...
Yes. Let's get this child some food. Both the good food and the bad food. And let's...
You're not hungry. Nelson's not hungry.
I would like some cheesecake, but I'm not really hungry.
For blood. You're not.
You don't need. Are you sure?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Was the witch feeding you?
She threw me a couple of blood bags every few weeks.
That's all.
Wait, you only
It
eat
happened
twice?
like 5-6 times.
Ollie, you heard what he said. You're like, wait, what? And then he said it happened 5 or 6 times. Math.
I have
isn't
so
mathing.
much to tell you.
Yes. Okay. Let's get
Ollie's
what Ollie
driving.
said.
I look back to Emmy like over shoulder while I'm driving. Like, is that girl math? What the hell? What does that mean?
Emmy just shrugs.
She's like, time in the Phalanx is not the same.
Neither is anything else.
What did you see?
You can
Goblin.
smell off of him like the faint smell of warm banana.
Oh yeah. Does he sit next to me? Because earlier,
That's up to you. I don't know where where Emmy's sitting.
okay, because earlier Grant had said something about smelling him, so Emmy just leans over and like whiffs you,
It's
like
extremely
like a
subtle.
deep
It's
breath.
extremely subtle, but a tiny faint of like banana bread, just a little bit.
Oh, she's gonna lean in on you, and she's just gonna like keep smelling you.
Just-
So she, I mean, leans in,
Kinda.
and then she kind of like lays her head on his
Yeah,
arm.
she's laying her head on your arm.
I lean in and I whisper, I got magic cologne.
You smell like banana bread.
Is that what it was?
She just
The
leans
drive
in
home was
more,
probably
and she
very
takes a
awkward.
deep
Somewhere-
breath.
Somewhere there's a secret agent that has been activated.
Yeah. Ollie's still
Shoot
doing
Ava
math.
the eyes, just like
Yeah, Ava also shoots the eyes.
Do you want to make a dexterity drive check to get back real quick? Just in case?
no. I think having these two weirdos in the back together is kind of perfect right now. In fact, I'm gonna go the long way to make sure to get him cheesecake.
Oh yeah, fair enough. You get him cheesecake. Emmy just leans on him the whole time. I imagine. Do you say anything else, Emmy, or do you just kind of just keep taking deep
No, I
breaths?
think she keeps just like breathing in. It's probably really creepy for some people. I don't know. Yeah.
Nelson doesn't care. He's like feeling the texture of the seat. But he's not felt it. and
We're
he's,
like a bunch of
rubbing
like
his
high
butt.
people.
Yeah, you guys are on drugs.
Mom and Dad driving in the front with the kids doing weird shit in the backseat. That's
This is the
all.
last time we let our kids do LSD, damn it.
Yeah.
He's just like, oh, the texture. About an hour, you get cheesecake. You eventually make it back to the bar, where the cheesecake is cracked open. I imagine you could take your first bite of the cheesecake, Nelson, in God, a long time. When you're all finally back there, and Grant's busy enough to be out of the way, does Ollie say anything about like, hang on, the math doesn't math, or does he just kind of like let them go?
I'm gonna let them go, but as they start getting out,
I imagine
I'm
take a
kind of
private
like
table booth and sit down and kind
I
of.
want to as they're getting out of the car, right? Like as
Sure,
they're getting
yeah,
out of the van, I'm gonna kind of like put my like tap hurt Ava's thigh. I mean like
Yes.
that didn't math right. Run the numbers.
What didn't
She
math
gave him blood every couple of weeks, and she did it 6 times. That didn't math right.
Yeah, he was only supposed to be in there. I mean, he
A
was
month.
only in there in a month. You did track the time. It has been a month.
You're right. That doesn't add up.
Let's not make a big scene about this. Just do the math on it. Kind of
Okay.
pry.
Okay.
Eventually, you all make your way to the table. Curtain is drawn, privacy is given. And Nelson is plopped, I imagine, in some fresh clothes, cheesecake half eaten already as you're wolfing it down. And Saito's notebook visible on the table, or do you have it tucked in somewhere?
He's actually got the notebook in the middle of the table, open to probably the most pertinent page, and then his sprawl of notes stacked in front of him on a couple of different.
The notebook is probably chaotic already, and even more so.
Yeah. He's filled in the last pages of Saito's notebook, and now it's also got his own notes in a much Saito's is a leather bound fancy thing. His is a ring. A ring bound bunch of line
college
drawn
notebook.
college paper. Yeah.
and you thought you were only gonna be there for a month, so you only brought one notebook. So I imagine every inch of free space on these pages is taken up with formulas, questions, notes, research. You flip open a couple pages and there's hang on, there's notes about you walking from camp, and it's all mixed up together. But yeah, even his notes look like he did a lot of work for 1 month.
Part diary, part thesis.
I think Emmy's sitting as close as possible and just keeps smelling you.
If the book is there and it's kind of open, Ollie flips a couple of pages. Jesus, kid, you were locked in. You're in the zone.
I got really bored. I did loads of things I probably shouldn't have done.
Like what?
Would Nelson have put a day counter?
You were counting days. How are you counting
At the
them?
beginning, probably the first. It gets fuzzy after 6 months, but he kept going until
So you probably
maybe
see
8.
strike marks on the cover or something where it's
Yeah.
yeah. You see strike marks.
He's he keeps on changing the bar by which he counts days.
Yeah.
Because he's the sun will be over by this tree. That's when I make the mark. And then over at the
How
other
is
end, it's
this?
but that happens too often, so maybe it should be this tree.
Yeah,
You just record the amount of birds that you saw or something? What's with all the marks here?
There weren't any birds.
Was there anything there?
Trees and a goblin and some fog, and I think there was a waterfall. I made
Wait,
a
a fucking
little
Wait,
camp.
what? Hold on. Don't back it up. What do you mean a
There was a
goblin?
waterfall.
No.
Oh,
The gob part. What do you mean? You talking like the Goblin King? Was David Bowie there?
less Goblin King, more Goblin. No, I'm not going to do that. Never mind. He looked like a bunch of moss and a rotten tree had a baby.
Okay, I mean that kind of stands out of proposing books and video games and shit.
Yeah.
Was he friendly?
He was trying to decide whether to eat me or not.
Did he hurt
didn't.
you?
No. Not
Okay.
physically. He told me I was stupid.
Oh, he hurt your feelings.
Yeah, yes. He didn't understand those, apparently. I think that was a lie.
Okay.
Oh, and he rummages around in his backpack. I got you this. And he hands the gross mummified hand with a key for Ava.
A mummified
And I did
monkey's
get another
paw
gift.
is holding a rusty key.
How romantic.
What is this?
Looks disgusting.
Yeah, well, I mean, it's a way to help get to Saito.
What?
Yeah.
And she very
Yep.
tries without looking to kind of piece
You
through
definitely have
this.
to you're trying to pull the key from the paw?
Yes, to look at the key itself.
You can you can snap the paw fingers back a bit and you're able to wiggle the key free, and it looks like a generic rusted key. An old iron key.
This key. Okay, thank you for getting this. I will figure out what this does later.
Have I seen
Did you
anything like
confirm
that
for
before?
Ollie that those were days and not birds?
Yeah, well, he at least said that they weren't birds.
Okay. What'd you say, Maggie?
Have I seen anything like that key before?
I mean, yeah, back in the old days, that's what everything used to be locked with. But nothing magical. I mean, it could be magical. It's from fucking a weird dimension, but it doesn't look like it has runes or anything on it. It looks plain.
Well, what did you do to get that? Nothing's free.
No, it wasn't free. Well, I mean, there was a free. That was the Badona bread. That was free. But the...
You see,
I owe him some
breathing
favors.
Favors?
Yeah, he likes to haul... Well, he's like a traveling salesman kind of deal. So
Traveling salesman goblin.
So
do you have a briefcase?
I said I'd help with that. No, he had like a flasher jacket. But with trinkets.
So
you got this key from him.
And
all right, hold on.
Something to make you happy.
You went to fucking Neverland, and you met an exhibitionist goblin who traded you a rusty key for favors.
Mm-hmm.
I don't want to insinuate, but did he touch you anywhere?
No, never made contact. I was going to hit him if he came closer, though. Don't know if that would have worked, but
I as Ava's like been talking to Nelson, like she keeps like taking like weird like looks because she's just like, you look different, Nelson.
You haven't looked at yourself in any sort of
in a mirror.
Yeah.
Ava has one because she's not La Sombra.
Yep.
So she can look in a mirror. She pulls
Sick burn on all you La Sombra.
I get your oblivion powers, but I don't need to get the bane. I pull out a little compact mirror from my purse and I slide it over to Nelson. Just look at your eyes.
To you, Nelson, you look exactly the same. You don't notice any changes in your eyes. Literally, you look exactly the same to yourself in the mirror.
I feel different, but I don't... That's basically how I always looked. Maybe a little dirtier.
You smell great.
Thank you.
The voice comes from like right next to you, like it's like up against you.
It comes from here.
Yeah.
Nelson, be honest
Ava.
with me.
Yes.
You spent time there. You met a goblin. You made an exchange with the goblin.
Did you do any work?
How long were you actually there?
Can I do the lie thing to make them happy?
What do you want to say?
Time was weird. It was a little longer than a month.
Longer than a month? I mean, you can say it, but the math is already in Ollie's head. That doesn't make that won't make any sense. But Ava, that's relieving to hear. Okay, yeah, things are a little weird. Okay. But wait a minute, he did say 6 months, so wait, the math doesn't also... There's a moment where you actually do feel relief, and then you remember, wait, no, that doesn't make any sense. The days that he struck there, plus he said she visited 6 times.
Okay.
It's not a noticeable thing. You just think for a minute, you're like, oh, okay. Oh, wait, no.
All right.
So you know he's lying about one or the other.
How do you feel? Do you feel... Obviously, you're probably going to feel different. You were in a totally different place from Chicago for some time. But just... Do you feel angry? Do you feel like you're disconnected from this world now? Like, how are you mentally?
No, I was lonely for a lot of it.
That's what I was worried.
But I'm okay. I am actually okay.
Okay.
It was... Felt like a year.
Mm-hmm. Well, that probably is a lot to be away and for something that feels like such a long time.
I just did what I always do, and that is hide in one place and get myself comfortable and do what I need to do. Except for that one time with the goblin.
I'm sure you're actually very good at that. I know it's been hard for you these past few years. Okay, and what about the book?
Right, the book. Okay. I obviously
Hey,
didn't think.
hold on. Look. I don't mean to be insensitive here, but you just came back. If you don't want to talk about that, you don't.
No, I need to
right
talk
now.
about this. This has been I've been talking about this a lot, but no one's been there to listen. So really, I need someone to actually listen to this because otherwise I might explode.
Ollie recalls the stickman. Okay, buddy.
Thank you. Okay, so Saito was trying to cobble together a thing basically to disconnect Sybil. Like turning her connect, because she connects to a bunch of different people through the abyss. And I'm not sure whether she lives there or whatever, but she exists in the real world.
In the shadow.
In the shadow, but also in the real world, right? And she's always been connected to the La Sombra, Antediluvian, and the Abyss. That's her power, right? So to turn that off is to also weaken the Antediluvian's influence and then kind of seal the rift. Because if they can't do things, even for a little bit of time, you can fix things. And if you have a better idea about how to just straight up kill someone that powerful, then I'd love to hear it. But the best we can do is use the fact that she's been around for so long against her. She has a lot of Saito called it sympathy, where you use something that's important to a person to create a magical connection to them. There were notes about what he did for you, Ava. He had some of your blood, and he had a photo of you, which is how he cast his ritual last time. And he was going to do that for Sybil. And there's some things that he decided he needed. I'm not sure what they were. So I made my own kind of changes because I can't do what he does.
Okay.
But I can do alchemy. And so if it's complicated, there's quite a lot to it. You might have a better idea of where and what these things are, but I have a plan for another ritual that will cut off Sybil.
And that's probably relieving to hear. I mean, it makes sense. If that's what Saito did, was able to sever your connection to Sybil via his ritual to scale that up to cut Sybil's connection to the Antediluvian, yeah, that's possible. But it cost Saito his life. What is this going to run?
Okay.
Kind of ritual. The last one we did, you were fairly successful with.
The Fey one, yeah.
So you need to. So essentially, something important of Sybil's could be used in this ritual to cut Sybil off. Is what
from
you're
the
saying?
abyss.
From
Yeah,
the abyss.
well, it's the connection between her and the abyss is much stronger than whatever we will have. So we will need a lot of very specific things to represent what we are trying to do to her.
Yes.
It's like cutting off someone's arm. You can't do it with a spoon.
Yes. I see.
You can.
If you try hard enough.
Right, we don't have enough spoons and we don't have that long.
Okay. And you, from the studies, would know how to perform this ritual.
It's my ritual.
Yeah, you wrote it. You took what little Saito had
Oh my
prepped,
God.
and then you went off and did your own.
You wrote your own ritual? That's so cute.
I had help from Saito, but yeah, it's my ritual. I either couldn't decipher or couldn't do some of the things that he'd planned. So it's fine.
So what do we need to get of hers?
The dagger.
That probably immediately makes you think of something.
There is, I don't know what the dagger's made of, but there is something important that we need, which is meteoric iron blade. Because there's,
yeah, sorry, go ahead.
oh, there's a couple of binding and banishment runes that we need to have on it or inscribe on it. Do you know what the dagger is made of? I don't know what that is.
I've held it in my hands.
Yeah, it's.
I've also
certainly
been getting some research done
ancient.
for that.
It's
right?
ancient stone-like looking. It's pretty dull looking, but meteoric iron is a mix of looking like stone and some streaks of metal in there. The big thing with meteoric iron, and the reason this is part of the rituals, which Saito would know, is because knowing what you know of Sybil and her past, seeing a meteor in the sky, typically an omen, something seer related, kind of related to her past. Whether that dagger is meteoric iron, you're not sure. However, Emmy, you have, from what you've been able to read, oh, that might make sense. That might be exactly what that thing is made out of. Emmy would know that just because you've been putting in some research, but no one else really would know. But that's, yeah. So she mentioned, when Ava mentions the dagger, Nelson kind of fills in the blank.
That might be it. We can get it and we can figure it out. We were planning on eventually trying to steal that dagger anyway. So
I believe
once
it is.
you believe that it is that iron,
Mm-hmm.
then we definitely need it.
Nelson isn't done yet. It's one.
So the dagger is a good start.
We could start.
Yeah.
What else is there, Nelson?
So, because we need a strong connection to Sybil, a faith,
I think
maybe.
I think I know where this is going.
There's a few different things, but to connect her to a kindred, connect her to blood, and seeing as we won't be able to get a hold of her heart, as far as I'm aware, we'll need one from a kindred that believes fully and entirely in her. Still beating, not dust. And I don't know how we'll do that. We've got to be really, really quick.
There are some rituals or Hakata maybe could help out. There's ways in it, but yes, that does make it a problem. He needs a still beating heart of a devoted kindred to Sybil.
Good news, we don't need the rest of the kindred.
I see. We'll need to find somebody. One of the La Sombra that are still in the city, perhaps. That might be
Well,
able
if you
to
can
help
figure
you.
out who they are, maybe I can help find them.
How
I
certain
don't-
are you that this is going to work?
I mean, yeah, it's chaotic, but due to some of the tests you did while you were out there, you're very positive it's going to work.
Okay.
It's a lot of steps. That's the fragility of it. Unlike Saito, who like rushed a ritual and ended up dying, he had a year to plan it out, but it's going to require a lot. There's more.
What else is there, Nelson?
Yeah. I mean, this will all work if we do it right.
What happens if
Um,
we, in your formula, what does it look like if we happen to have the person? Like, what if we had Sybil? What would that mean?
It'll make it a lot easier.
Okay.
But, I mean, we might have to be near to where she is anyway. Like, there are things that need to be collected, and then there is a place that it needs to be done at. It needs to be significant to Sybil. So either where she was sired or where she has been kept for all this time. I mean, I don't know if she's moved, but like...
What
She
if we just jump ship for a minute? Follow me on this. What if we enlist some help of someone who is an unwilling participant to the events that are currently transpiring in Chicago? What if we tried this on Rudy?
Well, Nelson,
Tried this.
you have other things that are required. And Rudy might have a role, actually, in all this.
Let him finish what is part of the ritual before we jump to any conclusions.
I mean,
It would bring you probably to the blood of the betrayed.
yes. So, if he's unwilling, we need at least a vial full. Alchemy is wishy-washy. I was thinking like 100 mil. Blood's weird. Of a La Sombra elder who was betrayed, or more specifically, who has betrayed his clan and their ideals, and it's kind of a symbol of the thing that Sybil wants to do. She's going to try corruption, and we need to stop it. We've already got it, sort of thing.
Okay. Is there anything else?
He's halfway.
Yes.
Are you fucking kidding me? Oh my god. What else?
So it's important to have something directly linked to Sybil herself. So something important from her mortal life, something that is emotional, sentimental to her. And we've already got the kindred stuff. We need the human stuff. Something symbolizes her humanity for her, which I don't know how we're ever going to figure what that is, but you know her better than
Maybe
me.
has some new abilities she might be able to use.
I have some ideas.
Oh, even that.
Okay, great. And okay, also imagine this in like a cool dark room with a bunch of candles. We're going to make this as nice as it possibly can be. And it doesn't matter to me for my alchemy, but I would have spaced them out at 6 different points evenly in a star. Just to get the ritual ambience. Get in the mood, you know?
That's a necessary part of this ritual?
No.
Okay.
We need the tears of the innocent. Basically,
Is that actually a requirement?
yes.
Oh my god. This is why this is that Tremere bullshit. Okay. Go.
You have no idea how much Tremere bullshit I've moved from this. There was like 10 times more bullshit.
Oh god. This
You
is
take
where
you take the circle with the star thing and you like dial that up.
this is where Saito always lost me, but keep going.
Okay.
Yeah.
Sorry.
The tears are specifically those who have been shed from suffering under Sybil's influence.
Yeah. I think it could be a mortal or a kindred,
Yeah, it doesn't
but
specify.
mortal tears are probably easier. Just pain and sorrow of her that we would like to prevent being inflicted again.
You have an idea,
Okay.
Ollie? Because I do.
I know someone.
Yeah.
Okay.
Continue.
I don't know if they're the same people, but I know someone.
Yeah, I'm curious who you're thinking of. 2 more, right? Or 1 more?
I think there's one more.
1. Yep.
The
The
a
bottom.
silver chalice etched with symbols that I've taken from the book. They're there to hold blood, tears, everything we need, the alchemical ingredients just as kind of a focus, and the abyssal connection will begin from there. And it's just a silver chalice. It can be made of silver. We can have it. It's not like special silver or anything like it. It is just silver, and it has to have very specific engravings on it.
Okay.
Yes.
I'll copy paste all that for everybody.
Thank
in,
you.
Chat. Everybody will have it. Don't know if you want to go through what they have to do, because that's mostly just you, Nelson. It's up to you.
I mean, I can tell them, but I'm not going to go through it.
Yeah, that's fine. And then there is the do you bring up then? And if all this goes tits up, there's one other option.
Yeah, sure. So, if we don't get these things, and we will. So this is like not even important. But if we don't, there is a place in the abyss that we can probably draw enough power from to in an emergency, you know, just in case. Take enough power to deal with Sybil, and I'm not sure in what sense, but it's not a place friendly to her.
Do you bring up the name as well or no?
It has a name, or she has a name, or maybe
Yeah. They want you to. Yeah, there's two things named. It was Saito's notes. It was said, the Umbra and Queen Ananasa.
Oh, is that how you say it?
That's
not how I was going to say it. Ananasa. Queen Ananasa.
Anybody who has 3 points, I would say anybody who has points in occult can roll me an intelligence occult check, but it is a difficulty of a minimum 5.
Ooh, so close.
I may. I'm gonna rouse my blood.
And I'm not gonna rouse
Yeah,
my
yeah,
blood
yeah.
because I can't. Occult.
Ollie's just like,
Occult
no,
intelligence.
nothing.
Do you say occult
Yes,
intelligence?
Yep.
Nope.
Nope.
3.
There's a moment, Ava, where you think you hear a whisper, but you're not quite sure what it said, and it was only once.
Okay.
I've got a backup chorus. I'm like, and Queen Ananasa.
Did I have you
Okay.
roll for that already? Did you want to roll for that, Josh? I don't think I had you roll for
I
that.
don't have
I guess
dots
I
in
can
it.
willpower,
Are
but-
you kidding me?
If I
Okay.
willpower, I can reroll 3 of those, right?
Yeah. Feel free.
I don't know if I could willpower because of
I
my
think you
whole
can willpower.
situation.
Willpower is not power. You criticaled. So the name rings a very faint bell, and let me grab a little snippet here. You know her. You know that name as some sort of what you would consider an ancient being, perhaps a god that is directly related to life. Much like the abyss is death, Queen Ananasa, you know to be the opposite of that. It is, she represents life, blooming, fertility. She, whatever she is, and you don't know what she is because you've just kind of heard the name, but you'd be the only one that can recall. It's something, some sort of being that is tied to, like I said, life.
It's very fitting because Emmy is all about life right now.
Yeah.
So I think she goes,
I know that name. Some kind of ancient god related to life. Like the blooming of a flower. Babies.
I saw
I'll never
lots of
be able to
flowers.
have a baby.
Ooh.
Nelson is
and
getting
I'm like
acquainted
leaning
with
on
the,
Nelson and smelling him.
with the new Emmy.
Yeah, I think it's at this point that he starts to feel how creepy Emmy is again.
Okay. So that is the like
Pull
just
in case of
Hail
emergen-
Mary. Yes. Okay.
Sure.
In case of emergency. Yes, that's a good. Okay. Well,
Yeah. Smash glass.
we
Yeah.
won't have to worry about that. You're right.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
I think
just-
we can
just-
focus on the things that you noted are needed for this ritual. And so explain to me again, with this ritual and everything goes well, it would cut Sybil from the abyss and the antediluvian. And the question is, what happens from there?
That is not on me. You're going to need someone who knows abyss stuff to basically close that door, cut that shit out. Other things that mean stop it.
Do you think Maybe, well, I was thinking maybe a Hakata or something would know how to do that, but
You don't know.
maybe Saito? He's in the abyss right now. He might be able to shut the door.
I don't know how much practice he's had at
In that
that
brief
kind of
window
thing.
as well, you'll have the opportunity where she'll be vulnerable to be taken out too. There's 2 things that need to get done in a brief window of time if the ritual's successful. Close the rift, and that's when you have a chance at killing Sybil.
I think for that, we need powerful allies. Perhaps somebody as old as Sybil to take her out.
Yeah, I
Like-
will stress it is only the abyss we're cutting her off from. All the rest of whatever she has going on, I don't know.
Okay. Yeah, I'm thinking a little bit ahead. I think I understand the steps now.
Severing the abyss apart at least will hopefully prevent eternal night. Like, that's the important part.
Man, once Dakota hears all of this, she's going to have 8,000 plans in her head of what's going to happen. Oh boy. We better.
We don't need 8,000, we need 6.
Yes.
And you
Yes.
can, where you can get. You got the dagger. Silver chalice is pretty easy. The blood of whatever would be Rudy. Tears of the innocent. Ollie had some ideas. Getting a still beating kindred's heart without it dusting instantly is going to be the hard part. But there are kindred out there who might be able to do something for that.
Okay. All right. Let's sit on this for a moment because that was a lot. First of all, great work, Nelson. Figuring all that. I can't even comprehend how you went through those notes and were able to figure out what to do and create your own little concoction on how to do this. I am very impressed. We don't have to have all the answers right now. We don't have to figure out each component and material at this moment. So let's simmer on this for a bit and we can regroup and figure out what we need and how this will take place. Does this put you at risk? If you do this.
I mean, being in the room with Sybil puts you at risk, so.
Yes. Well, I mean, we'll all be there. So if Nelson does this, is he gonna
I'm not going to explode.
Yeah, is bad shit gonna happen to you? The risk, yes, the Sybil risk is one thing, but just performing the ritual itself, will that?
Do you want to go over the step-by-steps you have to do? Because you have that.
I mean, I'm going to say
It's not planned. Your death isn't planned.
I am going to be in the same amount of danger that you will be if you're there with me. I mean, I've got to be doing
That's-
this,
Keep
but
role-playing.
I
I
spend a
gotta
lot
wait
of
for,
time
like,
to make
2
sure
minutes.
that I got to make sure that I spend a lot of time to make sure that I don't die when I do this. Because it's
that's all I needed to know. Yes, we will all be at risk in that moment, but we will all be
already dead
together.
anyway.
But we will all be together, Emmy. And that's the most important thing. We're doing this together. But Ava takes a sigh. Okay, all I need to know is that this isn't gonna be super dangerous to you. That's good.
I'm not Saito.
Yes, that's probably a good thing in more ways than one. That's I didn't mean to know what you're saying. I'm sorry. Take that the wrong way. But okay, so is there anything else that you garnered from your time away other than this key, meeting a goblin, changing your appearance, and getting this ritual? Did you learn anything about yourself? Have some time to reflect?
There were some reflections of me, and now I know how I look from behind.
Interesting. What was was there anything else strange about this realm? I tried to make sure you were okay, and I tried to do something to peer in and it kind of went the wrong way. And I hurt myself really badly. But what I saw in there was kind of weird and concerning. So, like, was there anything else about it that stood out to you?
I mean, it was weird and concerning.
Okay.
Just the whole thing. It was. Oh, if you drop blood on the floor, it grows little plants. And you can get lost really easily. And you can go back to where you were from where you came from by walking in a straight line. And
Well, I'm glad that you were safe there. And I thank you for taking that time to learn all of this. And I know it was a lot, and I felt really bad about it for the past month, that I was leaving you by yourself to suffer in some strange place.
I didn't suffer. No, it's fine.
Okay.
I wanted to do it. It brought me a little bit more understanding about what Saito was up to. And, you know, I know some stuff about myself now as well. So it was, I'm not going to say it was good, but it was a thing.
That's good.
And you smell great.
While you were gone, I'll give you the update on our end. We did a bit of a ritual ourselves, a Fey ritual. So I guess we were like connected, even though you weren't here, because we are trying to find more ways to bolster our defenses against Sybil. And so we thought we could maybe get something, a certain area in the city, to kind of ward off the dangers using Fey magic. And
After a failed attempt to see you in a vision, because you tried to premonition to see Nelson,
yes,
right? Yeah.
Which, while you stepped away, I gave him a little bit into that. But yes,
she went over that.
Cool.
But so that happened. But the ritual was a success, though I think there were some side effects to it. Me, for one, I had to swallow a moth, and Emmy drank Fey blood and has now changed. She sees her kindred life differently, and that's why she's a bit more on the downer side.
Oh man, I'm sorry, Emmy. That must suck.
Yeah,
Fey
we're all
blood
dead
must have
now.
been good. I mean, we were dead before.
Not always. Did you choose your death?
I'm not going to talk about that. I feel like I really want to live right now.
Me too.
Where we did the ritual was where we found you. The hospital.
Oh, wow.
So that hospital...
Oh, you're using sympathy.
Yeah. Sympathy?
Sympathetic magic. It doesn't apply as strongly to alchemy, but it's the thing I was saying Saito used.
Interesting. Oh, I see. Okay. Yes, so that is where we kind of warded that area. So.
Oh, well, I'll know that place really well then.
Yes.
Why do you know that place very well?
I hid in there for 3 years.
Why?
Because all the other vampires probably would have killed me. And then Saito was dead, so you know. And he couldn't protect me.
Was he the one who sired you?
No.
Who did?
Don't know.
It's a bit of a rough history that he has. We found him.
Who sired you?
Who did sire you, Emmy?
They're not alive anymore, anyways.
But they had a name.
I don't think I have the
No,
name.
you know, it's up to you if you even remembered the name or not. It's not like they fucking took you under their wing and raised you for very long. You were kind of thrown to the wolves too pretty early.
Some Ventru
Yeah.
picked you up and just decided, oh, I'm gonna embrace this little kid.
Found her
Kinda
amongst
messed
the
up.
ruins of her crashed carriage.
Right, you did mention
Yeah,
that
I did tell
story.
it to you guys.
You told, and you did tell the story. I do remember.
I didn't know them for very long. They tried to protect me, but I know what it's like to hide. People found me, they want to kill me too.
What's Ollie doing during all this?
Ollie can only handle so much of the depression,
Yeah, yeah.
so he's peacefully retreated into the kitchen.
Okay.
He's making something very, very simple, homemade recipe, something that he's been thinking of for a little while, but now it feels like it's very fucking important.
You notice Ava constantly looking at that key. And she's just like after Emmy and Nelson are talking, I think Ava's gonna take this moment. She's gonna grab the key and she's gonna be like, all right, Nelson, thank you for sharing your info. If you will excuse me.
I take the hand as well. The goblin said it was like a used up monkey paw, but I don't know how faithful that is. It might be useful.
Isn't the monkey paw like mean? I actually am trying to remember in like
Like a
folklore.
5 cursed wishes
Yeah,
thing.
you get a wish, and every time you use it,
Yeah.
it curls a finger in.
It curls a finger,
But this
yeah.
one's all curled in, just holding the ring, and he
Oh God.
there's
Okay.
no wishes left.
Oh great. All right. I'll take the paw and I'll
Uh-huh.
put the key in the paw. And
Okay.
if you'll excuse me, if Ollie asks where I am, don't tell him.
Where's Ava going?
Where are you going?
Somewhere where I can maybe do a little premonition on this, but like not here, so I don't get caught.
Nelson, do you remember what you said? What you asked for to get the key? Or did you already forget?
I asked for something to find my mentor, to find Saito, and he said it was a way to get through to the Umbra, or not the Umbra, but
You just said
the
to get
Abyss.
to him. Yeah, you left it kind of vague.
To get to him.
You didn't tell her that. That's okay. Do you tell her? Do you tell Ava? Or do you just...
Oh yeah.
Okay,
I'm
okay,
like,
okay.
that's what it's for.
Okay, so as she's about to walk
Yes.
away, you like stop her and you're like, nah, this is what he said it was for.
So this is to get. This is this the play? Is this wait? I'm sorry. I must clarify what that means.
He might not be able to clarify anything. Goblins do not explain anything.
He's a fucking fae. He's not gonna explain. So this key gets you to your mentor. So do you want to join? Do you also want to use this key then? This is your key.
I mean, it's my key, but I thought maybe we could find him together.
Yes, I think that's a good idea. Why don't you come with me?
Into the abyss?
Yes,
Well-
we've done it before.
We've got stuff to do.
We have stuff to do.
I-
When were you expecting to do this, Nelson? Before the ritual? Oh, maybe we could do it now.
once
Maybe we should wait and use it as our backup plan.
The backup plan for the ritual?
Yeah.
It's-
Didn't you say we had to go to the abyss?
We
or
did.
something?
Yes, that's true. They did. But this isn't like a one-time use. We could use it multiple times. I mean, I guess they didn't say.
Are you sure?
That's a really good question I didn't ask. I don't know how it works.
Well, I'm not going to use it. I'm just going to do the thing that I do on it. So it's not like I'm using this to unlock anything. I just want to see what's in it, if that makes sense. Just a little.
Last time you did that you didn't seem like you were well.
You're right. Perhaps usually when I do these things, Dakota says I need a chaperone in case something bad happens. Emmy, maybe you can be the chaperone.
What do you want me to do if something bad happens?
We always say this, but like the one time it happened, you could shoot me, but we don't have a gun. That definitely wakes me up. Something extremely forceful. Get Ollie, actually. Ollie will be able to wake me up.
But we're not allowed to tell Ollie.
This is only if something bad happens. Get
okay.
Ollie. And Ollie will be
Alright.
able to wake me
someone's
up.
gonna go with you then? One of these two to watch you to make so because if something does bad happen, they'd have to
So
know?
I'm thinking of sharing the senses with Nelson.
Okay.
So he can experience
Yeah,
whatever.
you're trying to
And then I'm gonna watch them both, and
This'll
if
go
something
well.
goes bad,
And Emmy's gonna watch in case something goes bad, and then she'll get Ollie.
if I watch, she's gonna smell Nelson.
So Ollie's gonna come out with the burger that he cooked or whatever he cooked to an empty table.
And no one's gonna be in there. Yeah, we're slinking away.
There's probably a minute where all of you are getting up and leaving the booth, and Ava probably stops and goes, "This is probably worse." If he walks out and sees just you're all missing.
We could wait a little bit.
All right. Fine.
I
Or you
can
just go
leave him.
tell him.
I can leave him a letter.
All right. Fine. You know,
leave
I'll
him
tell
a
him.
letter.
He'll say no, but he can't tell me.
Ollie, what did you cook?
no.
What do you come out with?
Are you guys coming back to let him know, or are you just gonna wait?
Just gonna wait.
Yeah, you were cooking
Okay.
something. So
You can hear him moving around in the kitchen, and he's like cleared Grant out. It's probably like a lull in dinner or what have you. And if at all you kind of glance through, he has like what looks to be cream, like a vanilla cream across his face, like the upper part of the mask, where he's tried to brush it off, but it's just created a streak under the eye. But after a few more minutes, he rolls out, and he's carrying three, probably very like large cupcakes, but they're small cakes. There's three of them, and as he lays them out in front of you, he pulls out a couple of candles and he places it in each one for each of you, and he starts to light it. They are how would I Ollie describe this? Think vanilla golden brown shortcakes.
Ooh.
With fresh ripe strawberries that glisten to the touch, a sugar and strawberry crown that sort of cooks over the top of this with the strawberry juices seeping into the cake, and a generous dollop of fresh whipped cream right in its center mast.
And then
I
you put
want
the-
that IRL now.
And
I know, right?
lights each of them. This
Aw.
is happy birthday. It's the first day of the rest of your forever, and things probably look a little grim. We need a little morale boost, and I noticed that we're all kind of missing some things. We've all kind of gained some things. Go ahead, it's all right. It's for you. Blow out the candle first, you heathen. Damn. But
Where's
happy,
yours?
I was never a cake guy. I like pie.
Where's your pie?
It was gonna take time, and you know, knowing you guys, like when I walk away, it's like you start getting into shit. You do bad things. So I'm really glad I was happy to come back and you were still here. But
We almost left.
happy birthday.
And he holds up the cupcake to Ollie.
Ava also holds it up, and she just says, I still make wishes before, so hope you guys make a wish too. And she blows out her candle and makes a wish.
Happy birthday. He just kind of smushes it into his mouth.
Oh, the texture of the cream on your skin is so nice.
Eat it. Don't wear it.
Emmy will breathe it in, and the light goes out as she breathes in.
I guess I should blush of life before I do this.
She doesn't eat the cupcake because I don't think she thinks she can.
Fair enough. You blush of life and eat.
Yeah, I'll eat it.
Look, I know it's not banana bread, but it's what my mom used to make for me, and it was easy. She's in the kitchen, in and out in 15 minutes. And it's the last thing she ever made for me. And I loved it, even if I didn't get a bite of it. But
Well, maybe you should have it. I can't eat it.
And
why?
she slides it over to you.
Why can't you eat it?
I think something's wrong.
What's wrong? When's the last time you had a birthday? When's the last time you had a cake that wasn't from, you know, someone that wasn't a kindred?
How would we explain like rousing the blood from a perspective of
Blood
like
doesn't heed your call anymore.
non-mechanic?
Blood no longer heeds your call.
Okay.
The blood doesn't heed my call anymore.
Okay, well, that's something we can work on, right?
I don't know.
Tell you what.
Maybe I'll never be able to do anything ever again.
That's a sad sack response. We'll get whatever this is back, and when you get it back, I'll one-time deal, special request, whatever you want.
She nods.
Banana
Hey.
bread, strawberry shortcake, whatever you want.
I suggest banana bread. Hey, Emmy, how do you feel about needles? And I stab her with a needle.
Oh my God.
And then I draw some blood. And I put it back in the bag. I can take
I'm
it.
gonna take that back.
She
No,
immediately reaches over.
oh. I mean, yeah, she
you can
probably
both-
gets it off
You
me.
can both, unless you want to let her have it, but if you want to
I mean, yeah, I'd let her have it.
okay. So you
But
grab
it's,
it.
it's just like a...
Yeah, she grabs it back. Emmy knows the value
That
of
was
blood.
incredibly Saito-y of you, actually. That was a very
Yeah.
Saito move. I love it.
I'm not an experiment for one of your weird. I don't
Hey,
know what you do.
Where
Rituals.
are you guys gonna go?
Well, I was going to see what this key that Nelson got was all about.
Where's this key go, Nelson?
You wouldn't,
Takes you to see your
you wouldn't want to go there.
All right, well, I don't want to go many places, but I still get tagged along.
You can
So-
tell him, Nelson. It's fine.
Okay. It takes me to Saito.
You want to die?
Oh.
I
No.
told them they should save it for if we need to use our backup plan.
What if it's a one-time deal?
Well, I wasn't going
Thought about
to.
that.
I wasn't going to use it. I was just going to see if I could get a vision on it.
Yeah, I don't know how it works.
What if getting a vision on it is using it?
Maybe, but
You willing to risk it for your boy toy? No, Nelson, I'm not talking about you.
Good. I don't have
Hey.
a boy toy.
I personally don't think that doing what I do is going to render this useless in the future. I feel pretty strongly about that.
Okay. Go
But
ahead.
unless any of you feel otherwise, then I won't use it.
No,
Nelson, what do you think?
It's a key that we don't know where the door it unlocks is. So if we actually want to use it, we should probably find that out. I think it's a good idea.
Perhaps
Gotta-
use the premonition to figure out where the door is.
Does the key have any, like, is it oddly shaped? Is there anything about it
It's
that
as
might
plain
even...
and iron as the one you once had.
Would you declare it as similar,
Oh, for sure, it looks similar.
but not identical?
Nope.
We used to use keys like that all the time, but now you all have these weird things.
Locks? What?
No,
What weird things?
we use no, but even worse than that. They use fobs now. It's the worst. Somebody who
Fobs.
uses a key fob to
Yep.
open their door. It's these little electronic things. It's very
Some doors you don't even need it. You just
That's
have a thing
true.
in your pocket. You just and it's like vicinity. It's crazy.
All right.
But-
Well, I mean, go ahead. Burn it up. Go ahead. Say what you see.
What are you gonna use? What power?
Yeah, I would think I was just going to one moment. I just want to see. Yeah, I think I might just use premonition on this.
Classic premonition, just a
Hey.
rouse check.
Yes.
You use your hoodoo on things, right?
Yes.
Why don't you ever use them on people?
I do sometimes.
Why don't you ever done it on me or Dakota?
You've never asked. I feel like I've done
could tell.
something in my time.
Yeah,
To-
recently with your weird friend that we stole.
The weird friend that we stole?
Yeah, Ollie's friend, the writer.
I did use it on that poor Darian. Yes. Just sometimes if I want information, I usually know what's in both of your guys' heads and what's going on in there.
Yeah, but this, as you said, it's like a premonition, right?
Yes, yes.
It's not peering into the mind. It's looking into a potential future, some shit.
I should say I have seen things about you, Ollie, but not from the premonition, but from the photos that I've taken.
Okay.
The one-
Did you catch me all nudie or something? What do you mean?
No,
More gruesome than that.
it was
Will
the
you
one.
quit? Will you knock this shit off? You're fucking killing the buzz,
Emmy
man.
knows though, because Emma told her.
You just fucking smile. I made you a birthday cake, and you're just glib as you're so sad. With spirit fingers, you want some fuck? Please, someone tell her a joke.
Oh, I want to use
Yes,
glib.
that's exactly what I was hoping
Yes!
for. Go for it.
Oh my
What
god!
is your joke? What is your joke?
Let's go.
I totally didn't make that connection. What lie do I need to tell,
No, just tell her a joke.
Emmy?
This time, I mean, it's more about making her feel better. So you can just tell her.
Okay.
Tell her a joke. Almost doesn't matter really, because
What do you call the cross between a caterpillar and a parrot?
I don't know what.
A walkie-talkie.
there's a moment, Emmy, where like you can feel like a little bit of an electricity kind of almost inside you. There's a moment where that was actually pretty funny. It lasts, but a true echo of happiness seems to spark from some deep well within for but a brief moment. And maybe it's up to you if Emmy smiles or not. But yeah, it tickled you.
Yeah, I think she just like has like a slight smile, but then it goes away.
Yeah, hey, that's more than you've seen Emmy smile in days.
Some Wednesday Addams shit.
Hey, I think that worked. Just got to keep them coming with those jokes.
Where do you go do this premonition, Ava?
I will do it somewhere private, maybe just back in the booth. Again, if anything happens, Ollie, just nice punch in the face. I'm sure you're waiting for that.
Yeah, I love it. It's my favorite thing. Just knocking your block off. How long do I wait?
Just, if you start seeing like veins or anything,
Like normal.
and it looks like really bad. Usually this only takes a couple of seconds. So if it's like more than like several minutes, I think maybe you should be concerned.
If it goes longer than a minute, I'll figure it out.
And Nelson, this is the other thing I would like to do. When I do the premonition, I would like to also rouse to share the senses so that perhaps Nelson can see what I'm seeing. Because Nelson, this is his key, so he should see what's in there too.
Require a rouse check?
I believe it does. It does.
Yes, one rouse check, and then it's resolve in aspects
Oof.
Oh God, hunger
at
for
difficulty 3.
Me hungry. I'm back if I'm at hunger 4. Anytime I use my powers, I freaking get myself hungry. Because I'm like always pushing the limits.
Let's check something. There it is. Let's see.
God, now I can't I can't rouse what
Share
I
the
think
senses
it. I
is
think
you
it is
writing-
sharing, like you using his
Yeah, you're
senses.
sharing
God
his
damn it! I
senses.
always reverse
Yeah.
this
I was like, I
every
gotta go
single
check something.
time.
That's why I was pulling up the rules. I'm like, hang on. Nope.
Every
I feel like
time.
I was looking it up too because I was like, I feel like she tried to do this when she
I
was trying
did
to
try
make
to
Emmy
do
happy.
this. I did try.
And,
This is
yeah.
like a quick out of character moment here, lovingly. I never use share the senses because I always want to use it the way it's not intended,
Yeah.
the reverse. And it's like so annoying. Like, I don't care about other people. I want to share what I am experiencing with people. I don't like need to feel what they're feeling. Ugh.
But
I
It's
feel
so
like that'd be a
annoying.
really good presence.
But it
power.
might
Yeah.
be useful to feel how someone else is feeling if, like, for your premonition-y things sometimes.
That's true. It probably is.
Yeah.
I just honestly I never use it. I picked up this discipline because I thought it was something it wasn't, and I never
no,
use
then
it.
we can fix that.
Oh yeah,
Don't worry
you
about
can
it.
respec or
can
something.
Yes. Yes.
You can keep that rouse check as your premonition rouse check.
Yes. Yes.
I'm not gonna have to make you roll. There's no need to roll for this. Things just instantly happen. So we see as you clutch the ring, sit down, flanked by people you trust, and do what you always do. You close your eyes, taking a deep breath as you focus your preternatural senses, as you always freaking do, and hoping to see what this leads to or something to. You're looking for like where to use
The
this
door,
specifically.
yeah.
Correct? Yeah. And as always, at first, what you see is darkness, a void that stretches to infinity all around you. But slowly, colors begin to bleed into the blackness, like paint on a canvas. A swirling vortex of emerald green tendrils appears, twisting and turning, kind of like a living vine. It begins to be intertwined with fiery orange sparks that crackle and pop, sending showers of embers spilling into the infinite void around it. And over just in your peripheral vision, deep indigo shadows cling to your vision. No matter where you turn, you can't help but see it. They shift and morph, and you can never quite focus on whatever it is they're attempting to become. And as you continue to focus, those colors intensify, almost becoming blinding to you. And then you feel a fall. Not an instantaneous plummet like you're so very used to, but a slow, gradual descend into something that, I guess you could consider it almost moving like you're moving through a viscous liquid. And everything around you, the colors and the shapes that is formed, stretch like oil on a painting dripping downward with you until it reaches its breaking point, and all of those colors shatter into countless millions of tiny glass pieces, and you can hear the cracking and shattering of that as though it were glass surrounding you everywhere. No matter where you look, those little bits of glass are giving tiny little scenes what's happening. And as you try to focus on them, you can see in countless different shards people moving, talking. You hear conversations, you feel emotions that don't belong to you. You're surrounded by a thick, heavy atmosphere that seems like it's attempting to crush you under a weight that you cannot put words to, but you still persist. And eventually, that thick falling, that feeling of descending into an infinite nothing ends. And as you look around, you're surrounded by familiar cityscapes, that of Chicago, but they begin to warp, fracture, streets twist into impossible angles and loops, buildings begin to melt in front of you before restructuring and reforming into alien-looking structures, and the sky itself becomes nothing more than a swirling vortex of the colors and shadows you saw when you initially arrived. The neon signs flicker and buzz, but there's nobody walking around. Utter silence, but in a chill in the air. A towering skyscraper leans precariously up against other buildings, but not in a way where it looks destroyed. It just simply looks like it was built to lean in that direction. And all of that rushes by. A feeling of vertigo almost overtakes you. And as these buildings blur by, trees sprout, age, and die all within an instant, and then melt again before you, some cracking and others shattering. until it all comes to a sudden stop, as though a roller coaster was shut down mid-drop. And before you is a simple wooden door. Can I get a resolve intelligence check, please? For memory.
Yeah. Let's see. So
3, and you can't reroll any of them, but 3 is pretty good. You know this door. It's not the door that belongs to the cabin that you may, maybe somebody thought. There's a moment where you're like, it doesn't look, when I say simple wooden, I'm not talking like old door on a cabin. I'm talking like a plain wooden door you would see on any apartment or any bedroom. A very plain white door with a door handle. And it sits in front of you. Everything around you has turned into the void again, but a simple white door sits with a keyhole.
yeah, that looks like the door.
Do you do anything in your vision? Do you reach for it? What do you do?
I don't want to use the key, as I do worry if I do,
If
it
you
is a
look
one
down,
time.
actually, you're not holding a key. You are
Okay.
within a vision.
I would like to just walk up to the door.
Okay, you walk up to it.
I don't know.
Do you check if it's locked? Do you try to touch it? Do you knock on
I
it?
do. I touch the door and I knock. I don't want to open it just yet.
As you reach out and you place your hand onto the door, it is maybe surprisingly physical. It is there. It's not burning hot. It's not ice cold. It simply feels like a normal door. You pull your hand back, and there's a moment where you hesitate, but then move forward to knock. And as you knock, simultaneously on the other side, so too does somebody else. Exactly in rhythm with your own.
Interesting. I really want to open the door.
Do you reach for the handle?
I'm worried that this is like, if I do this, then it's like the one-time use thing, and I'm opening the door and we
I
won't ever
understand
be
your
able to.
concern. Yeah.
So I'm not sure if I should.
Do you hesitate then?
I hesitate.
In
Yeah.
that hesitation,
Yeah.
you hear something on the other side. A muffled voice? Is that Saito? You hear your name. Ava? Before you can make a move, everything is ripped away. You come curling back through all of those colors, and maybe even makes you feel nauseous upon return. But as your eyes open, you're back where you were. She was probably like a few seconds. Nothing out of the ordinary. She didn't have veins crawling on her eyes. She severed the shadow a long time ago.
Mhm.
Oh,
We didn't
that
get
door,
to see Ollie hit you.
that door, as you get pulled away, as it gets smaller, you recognize that door. That's the door to Matthew's house.
Okay. Ava, you probably see Ava's eyes widen when she returns to the land of the living.
The
And
thing I will say is that you wouldn't, and Ollie would know if you bring it up, Ava, you would know that his door didn't have a hole for an old ass key like this, but everything else, as you get pulled away, you kind of notice familiar surroundings, maybe even a vague shape of a familiar building to really, you're certain that it is Matthew's door, the door to where you lived. So after a few seconds, she closes her eyes, she takes a deep breath, and then she exhales and she opens her eyes. That's all you guys see on the other side.
Yeah, and Emmy says,
We didn't get to see Ollie hit you.
unfortunate.
I wasn't looking forward to it.
I think I found the door.
Where is it?
I don't know, but I think I could get there again if I do the same thing that I just did.
What did you did?
I brought myself to somewhere deep under the city, the place I feel like I've been before, the hole in the city or something, where it just fell somewhere dark, and I saw the door, and I think I heard Saito on the other side, but I didn't open it because I was worried that if I did, that might have been our only chance.
You talking about the labyrinth?
No, the door. The door looked like Matthew's. Do you remember that place?
Yeah. I've been there quite a few times over the years.
That simple white door.
Like in his
There-
house?
Who's Matthew?
It wasn't his house. It wasn't his house. It was just the door. Matthew is a kid that lives in Madison.
Why do
No.
you know a kid that lives in Madison?
Matthew is not a kid anymore. Matthew, I don't even think is alive. Matthew
He's a
was
vampire?
he was taken by whatever took Ava here, or at least one of them, a fairy. And
Yeah, he wasn't vampire.
we went out to Madison
Kindred.
because some jackhole had my son. He went by the name of Mark. Real piece of shit. And when we found Mark, he was a lot like, well, what we expected was going to happen to you, Em. He was thrumming, shaking, vibrating, but he was stuck. Mark took on fairy blood. But Matthew, I don't know if he ever told me a word for what he was. He just said he changed. He said that he stayed where you stayed. In the hedge, in that place between places. He stayed there, and it changed him. It made him something more. And well, the kid was alone, and I didn't like that, so I kind of visited him. We played Mario Kart. I bought a 64 because he said he really liked Mario Kart. And it just seemed like one of the last few things that really kind of brought him joy before he died. But that's how you got to the hedge, buddy. Because when he passed through one time, a leaf came through with him, and I gave it to the witch of the yards. And man, did she fall in love with that. She thought that was the coolest thing that she'd ever seen. And it's because of that fucking leaf that she still lets me in today.
Why was that door? What's his connection?
He could come and go. He was walking between this place and that place. But he was after something. He was after someone. Yeah. It was, I think, his love of his life or something. I think his name was Lily or something. But remember, I told you when I went there, the whole thing with Darian and the lady I met in the woods that I punched and she turned into a bunch of sticks. He had his own goals. He had things that he was after, and that was it. Whatever happened to him was because of Darian, or at least in part due to Darian and that old lady, Ida, who I let my son go with. That inevitably, well, you know how that went. Look, it's all tied together. But I don't know what that door has to do with anything. But I know how to get there. Been there a bunch.
Maybe it's something else we go look at after we deal with Vitel. Since we have to go to Madison for that anyway.
I mean, you're not wrong. What do we got now? We missed the last full moon. So we got, what, a month? 3 weeks?
Something like that, yeah.
All right. Well, let's work on getting Emma Mojo back. And Grant can be besties with his GF. And, well, you know, Nelson, I don't think you need anything. Brother, you look better than you've been in a long time. In fact, you came out Mr. Saucy Handsome Face.
I need sleep.
Okay. You need some clothes, too?
Yeah.
I can go get you some clothes.
Cool.
Do you want to go back to the theater? Or, you know, back to that life of working there? You don't have to.
Yeah, it's not required.
I don't know what I want. I'm gonna get used to being back here first.
Yeah, why don't you sleep on it? All right.
The coterie essentially scatters, I imagine, kind of to their own means. Yeah? Or no?
Yes.
Yeah. Yeah, I think so.
Well, then, before we come to a close, there's one last scene that still needs to play. Emmy, as you get home from your evening out with the coterie, after hearing all of that, but did genuinely get to feel a little bit of joy at the joke that our boy made. When you get home, your mother greets
And
you.
smelling Nelson.
And smelling Nelson for a long time. Both your mother and father figures greet you. And as you're walking to your room, they're like, oh, somebody stopped by. They said they had a gift for you. Yeah, I left it on your bed.
Emmy will rush over to her room.
As you run over, you actually see a small little box wrapped in some wrapping paper, plain, crystal, like a deep blue wrapping paper. Maybe 5 inches tall, 5 inches wide.
Emmy will smile, like the longest smile she's smiled in a long time. And like after a couple seconds, like rips the wrapping paper off of it, just like shred it.
Shred it out and open up the box because it's just a plain cardboard box. And as you open it up, there's a small little card at the very top. And it simply says, "One ode." No initial, no name. As you throw the card to the side, thinking about it later, there's a small glass vial. As you pull it out, slide it out from the cardboard box and hold it between your tiny little 9-year-old fingers and hold it up to the moonlight. You watch as the moonlight makes it almost dance in the bottle. Speckles of little glitter, almost stars in and of themselves in what little liquid is in there. As you pop the top, the smell of homemade banana bread follows
no.
She
into your
breathes it
nostrils,
in like deeply.
and you smell it. And I imagine we watch as you tilt it upward, and as you do so and you taste the banana bread, we'll cut to black. We'll see Maggie in 2 weeks. And we'll be back next week for some regular show and to see what happens. Thank you guys so much. And thank you, Maggie, for furthering your addiction.
Yay!
Dakota will be back next week. We're going to go do an after show. Again, thank you guys so much. Thank you, Josh. I know it's a bit of a time thing for you, but welcome back, Nelson. We'll talk a little bit in the after